Chapter 1379. Cheapskate. The experts of the Taoist temple shouted. Many old people could barely stand. The temple master had died in battle. Had the creature raised by the temple master also died in battle? A huge creature died and blood fell from the sky. Blood gushed out from its silver body as it ruthlessly smashed into a meteor. The flowing blood dyed the entire meteor red. Even the planet was trembling violently. It could not bear it and was about to self-destruct. Roar, the Baokai roared. Its eyes were red and tears rolled down its face. Its hair stood on end. It was incomparably crazy. The world seemed to be covered in blood. The blood of Cheapskate spilled down and dyed the starry sky red. Countless people cried bitterly. Among the 10 undying beings, Cheapskate should have fallen. That palm was too powerful. Who could match it? With Cheapskate's combat strength, it was impossible to block it. B** starred. Su Yen was filled with grief and indignation. His blood-stained hair danced wildly like an injured beast. His furious aura erupted, wanting to tear the sky, shatter the entire world, and destroy Xian Tairan. He roared as his body soared into the sky, releasing a sword light that was tens of thousands of feet long. Go! Cheapskate suddenly came back to life. Using all the power of his primordial spirit, he roared, "Go, go!" He did not want Su Yen to continue fighting. With Xian Tairan's current state, Su Yen could not stop Xian Tairan at all. If he continued to fight, he would only be throwing his life away. Instead of throwing his life away, it was better to survive and escape from the black-yellow universe. Cheapskate knew very well that they would not survive. When Xian Tairan went crazy, he would slaughter all the undying beings. No one would be able to survive. He wanted Su Yen to leave along the Emperor's road. He believed that Su Yen would definitely be able to stand up in the future and avenge him. Su Yan's eyes were like lightning. His roar made the stars tremble. The anger of grief and indignation burned, and the blood in his chest was released. His Tao was to move forward bravely and never retreat. He was the guardian of the black-yellow universe. How could he retreat half a step? He was the strongest person in the black-yellow universe. How could he abandon his people and escape alone? Chi. Su Yan's body burned with raging flames, and his hair danced in the wind. He drew his universe weapon and unleashed the immortal slash at Xian Tairan. Poor worm. Xian Tairan's expression was as cold as ice. He suddenly raised his palm. No matter how sharp the sword light was, no matter how terrifying this supreme art was, how could it break through his golden armor formed from the extreme Tao immortal metal? The sword aura that filled the sky like an ocean and the sword intent that seemed like it could destroy the heavens were directly smashed into pieces by his palm. Xian Tairan had a cold expression on his face as he slammed his palm forward once more, aiming for Su Yan's universe soldier. Crack! The sect-killing sword was directly broken, the sword body shattered. There was also a force that attacked Su Yan's body. A palm strike worsened his injuries once again. Even his powerful, imperishable golden body began to crack and was about to be destroyed. Pooh! Su Yen spat out a mouthful of blood. His body flew out and fell far away. Su Yan's hair was disheveled, and he stood up once again. He was bathed in blood, and his roar shook the heavens. Was he defeated? Yes, he was defeated. However, Su Yan's heart was filled with anger. He would not admit defeat. He would not fall until the final moment, unless he died in battle while charging forward. Suddenly, Xian Tairan's body staggered, and he looked like he was about to fall to the ground. His life aura weakened, and his lifespan seemed to be on the verge of drying up. He staggered and could not even stand properly. I don't have much time left. Xian Tairan forcefully stabilized himself. After all, this was not his body. Although he was connected to Su Yan's bloodline, he could not occupy his body for long. He had to quickly suppress Su Yan and leave. Otherwise, this mission would be a complete failure. Moreover, Xian Huiyu's remnant soul was still there. As long as he returned to the Xian people, there was hope that he could reconstruct Xian Huiyu's body. If he failed, the problem would be huge. The Xian people had suffered great losses in this battle. Although Xian Tairan was the patriarch of the Xian people, such losses would cause his status to fall. Anyone can live, but not you. Xian Tairan's expression was cold. He waved his fist and punched Su Yan's body. He did not believe that Su Yan could maintain this state for long. Dragon essence! The Baokai roared angrily, and its aura shook heaven and earth. All of the dragon essence surged out of its body. In an instant, the Tai Baotsai's aura changed. 9 true dragons appeared behind its back, and the 9 dragons intertwined with each other. The aura of the ancestral dragon rose, and it was as if a giant dragon had been born. The Tai Baokai roared. Soaring dragon in the sky! The Tai Baokai roared. Its aura was world-shaking, and it could overturn rivers and seas. It was omnipotent. Its figure instantly tore through time and space, and it quickly charged in front of Su Yan. It carried Su Yan and began to fly wildly. This was the soaring dragon in the ancestral dragon's secret technique. Its speed was terrifying. Even someone as strong as Xian Tairan could not catch up to the Tai Baokai in a short period of time. Get down for me! Xian Tairan shouted coldly. Golden ripples surged from his mouth and nose, and it was boundless. It suppressed the heaven and earth and shattered the space in this area. The Tai Baokai, who was flying wildly, was immediately shaken and fell down. This old woman has gone crazy. He will kill everyone here. Hurry up and leave. The Baokai raised its head and roared. If it was really such a cruel ending, it would be better to send Su Yan away. They believed that in the future, Su Yan would definitely be able to stand up and take revenge for them. Bang! Before the Baokai could finish its words, its head caved in from Xian Tairan's slap. Its panda body trembled, and blood and bones sputtered out. Baokai! Su Yan roared angrily. His black hair that was dyed with blood was scattered and covered his face. Only a pair of eyes that were mournful and frightening could be seen. His eyes were bloodshot and emitted a sword glow. His heart was filled with grief and anger. Don't worry, I won't kill it, Xian Tairan sneered. At this moment, he appeared very calm and did not take the initiative to attack. Instead, he said, I can't bear to kill a beast that has mastered the ancestral dragon's secret technique. I will bring it back to my clan and add a peerless secret technique to my clan. Actually, my biggest goal in coming here is you. Xian Tairan stared at Su Yan and said coldly, They can all live, but you can't. If you dare to leave here, I guarantee that no one in the entire mysterious yellow universe will survive. They will all be buried with you. Don't doubt my words. Although I don't have much time left, I'm confident that I'll be able to destroy the entire dark yellow lineage and wipe out the entire universe before my life ends. This gloomy voice seemed to echo out from purgatory. Many people felt their blood stop flowing and were about to be frozen. Even if you suppress Su Yan, we won't be able to live. Yuan stepped forward and said with a sullen face, What's the point of saying this? Su Yan, as long as you survive, there will be hope for you to avenge us in the future. Su Yan, no one will blame you for leaving. Hurry up and leave. Tensor said calmly, We have killed enough in this battle. Death is nothing. But if we die, who will avenge us in the future? But you are different. Leave here and you can avenge us in the future. Xian Tairan's state was too strong. Shifu and the others knew very well that it was impossible to kill him in this state. If he continued to go crazy, the people of mysterious yellow universe would be plunged into misery and suffering, and the 10 undying would fall one after another. Ha 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 ha. Xian Tairan laughed sarcastically. Ha. He laughed so hard that he was about to cry. You want to avenge you? You want to shake the great cause of the Xian people? You're really delusional. Since you're courting death, I'll grant you your wish. Xian Tairan released his aura, and his body was filled with immortal Tao energy. He would kill them all first. You want to suppress me and take me away? Su Yen shouted. Let's see if you have the ability. All of you back off. Let me do it. Su Yen ignored the consequences and charged at Xian Tairan. The aura he emitted sent Yuan and the others flying. Xian Tairan did not have much time left. As long as he did his best to stop him, he might be able to hold on until Xian Tairan died. Even if he was suppressed and taken away, Yuan and the others could survive. But once he left and retreated, would the people of the universe still exist? Su Yen attacked with all his might. He ignited his indestructible golden body and attacked Xian Tairan. Boom! Golden holy light erupted and struck Xian Tairan's body. This attack was very powerful and surging endlessly, but it was extremely difficult to break through the defense of the golden armor. This is fate. You have no choice but to believe it. Xian Tairan became calmer and calmer. His large hand covered Su Yen, wanting to suppress him. Su Yen would not sit still and wait for death. He resisted with all his strength. His body was so blazing that it was about to explode. He burned all of his vitality to stop Xian Tairan's palm suppression. But it was useless. The extreme Tao metal was too powerful. It gave Xian Tairan an indestructible body. No matter how Su Yen resisted, he could not stop the large hand. Su Yen spat out large mouthfuls of blood. His eyes turned black as his body flew out and fell far away. No, if this continues, I'll die of exhaustion. Su Yen still maintained absolute clarity. Using the powerful rebound force, his blood-stained body crashed through the space-time tunnel and headed toward the Z-Way star zone. You still want to escape now? Don't you think it's funny? Xian Tairan was confident of victory. How far could Su Yen escape? He strolled through the starry sky as if he was taking a stroll. His momentum became greater and greater. He pushed the shocking energy wave of the immortal island upward and attacked Su Yen. This energy wave was too violent. It was as if the sea of stars was collapsing. Su Yen, who was traveling through the space-time tunnel, was sent flying again. Su Yen did not say a word. His expression was cold as he stabilized his body that was about to rot. In the process, the indestructible golden body blazed again. Even Su Yen burned his body's functions. He did not care about the price, just to buy some time. What is Su Yen trying to do? Emperor Nan and the others were about to lose hope. It was difficult for them to catch up to the moving battlefield. Don't go. Let me. The heavily injured East Demon charged into the battlefield. His entire body was overflowing with blood energy. His long hair danced in the wind like a waterfall. A terrifying light appeared in his eyes. He saw through Su Yan's intentions and roared, "You can't die. Grandpa Village Chief has high hopes for you. I believe that you will go even further in the future. No one can do it except me." Su Yen led Xian Tairan away. He dragged his heavily injured body and rushed toward the bipolar star. Let's see how far you can run. How much of your lifespan can you burn to maintain your indestructible golden body? Xian Tairan also stepped into the bipolar star. He looked coldly at Su Yen, who was rushing toward a mountain. He said coldly, "Give up? If you continue to struggle, I'm really worried that you will lose all value to the Xian people." Ha ha, ha. Su Yen stood on the great Tao immortal mountain. His smile was bitter, determined, and crazy. Finally, his eyes looked at the great Tao immortal mountain with determination. I didn't expect that I would have to rely on the power here in the end. His expression was cold. He wanted to lift the great Tao immortal mountain and use the dark matter to devour Xian Tairan. There's more tonight. Chapter 1380. The ancient great Tao immortal mountain bloomed with the light of the great Tao, flowing with waves of brilliance. The Tao here was unfathomable and extremely difficult to understand. It was unknown whether it was the great Tao or the immortal Tao. It had suppressed this place for countless years. Su Yen could sense that the great Tao Immortal Mountain's energy was already very limited. At most, in a few decades, the suppressed demonic fog would overturn the great Tao Immortal Mountain and pour out in full force. However, what about the dark matter that had lost the realm sea? Was the demonic fog suppressed here really that powerful? Su Yen didn't think so. Even if the dark matter was released, it couldn't cause the universe to decline in a short time. This mountain. At first, Xian Tairan didn't put this mountain in his eyes, but the more he observed, the more he felt. He increasingly felt that this mountain was no small matter. Very soon, he stepped forward and rushed towards the great Tao Immortal Mountain. However, just as he got close to the great Tao Immortal Mountain, this mountain surged with a strange energy. The ancient mountain exuded a terrifying pressure that prevented Xian Tairan from ascending, who could easily ascend the 9 great immortal mountains. Su Yen was different. He had immortal jades, which were the key to opening the energy of the 9 great immortal mountains. Therefore, Su Yen could easily ascend the mountain. You want to rely on this mountain? Stop me? What wishful thinking! Xian Tairan sneered. His entire body bloomed with resplendent light. The extreme Tao immortal metal and his immortal Tao power were released, rushing towards the great Tao Immortal Mountain, causing it to shake slightly. Dong. At the same time, Xian Tairan was strolling towards the great Tao Immortal Mountain. One step after another, each step left a deep footprint on the Immortal Mountain. Only SOSO. Xian Tairan shook his head and sneered. This level of strength couldn't trap him at all. He could reach the summit with some time. This time, I won't give you any hope of escaping. In order to prevent Su Yen from escaping again, Xian Tairan even laid down a layer of seal in the surrounding area. In short, the most important mission in this battle was Su Yen. As long as he could bring him away, everything would be settled. Suddenly, the great Tao Immortal Mountain rumbled, transmitting a ghost-like wail. Su Yan's expression changed slightly. Could it be that the great Tao Immortal Mountain had its own will? Or was a living evil demon suppressed under the great Tao Immortal Mountain? If that was the case, the great Tao Immortal Mountain couldn't be overturned. Ah! The mournful voice was still echoing. The sound came from the great Tao Celestial Mountain. It was a blood-curdling scream, like the howling of a ghost from hell. Buzz. Su Yan's eyes shone as he peered into the Immortal Mountain. Soon, he saw a remnant soul struggling in the Immortal Mountain. It was him, and he was letting out a mournful howl. Su Yen pondered for a moment and soon understood. You brought this upon yourself. He shook his head slightly and sneered. How much longer can a remnant soul like you last? Who are you? The remnant soul angrily roared, its voice filled with despair and mournfulness. If you don't want to die, then get the hell out of here. What? It's only been 100 years, right? Don't you remember me? Su Yen shook his head slightly. At the same time, he understood many things. The remnant soul here was an acquaintance. It was the sect master of the Crepe Myrtle sect, who had disappeared for 100 years. His remnant soul was in the great Tao Immortal Mountain. This person had helped Shuiguan back then. Su Yen had suspected that he must be related to the Yinyang Road. The old village chief also knew, so he imprisoned his remnant soul inside. The Yinyang Road was a dark force after all. However, most of the experts of the Yinyang Road had been wiped out by the old village chief, and East Demon had already mixed in. He reckoned that the forces of the Yinyang Road had been wiped out by East Demon. You. It's actually you. Sect Master Crepe Myrtle found it hard to believe. Was this still the weak trash from 100 years ago? It was just a great Tao realm domain, a small thing that he could casually crush to death. Although Su Yen was seriously injured now, the fluctuations that leaked out of his pores were enough to shock Sect Master Crepe Myrtle. How strong was Su Yan now? If he stood here 100 years ago, he would probably only be able to crawl and tremble in front of him. What are you doing here? Sect Master Crepe Myrtle's expression was uncertain. He even saw Xian Tyran, who was climbing the mountain. His combat strength was even more terrifying, and he was about to reach the peak. It had only been 100 years. How many things had happened in the universe? What did he miss? I'm here to help you free yourself. Open the great Tao Immortal Mountain and let you escape from the sea of suffering. Su Yan's words were shocking, causing Sect Master Crepe Myrtle's remnant soul to tremble with excitement. However, he immediately calmed down. What are the conditions? His eyes were cold. There was no free lunch in this world. Moreover, once the great Tao Immortal Mountain was opened, Sect Master Crepe Myrtle knew what would happen. The great Tao Immortal Mountain is the immortal mountain that suppresses the source of darkness. Su Yan said calmly, in the last universe era, the bipolar star underwent a huge change. This valuable ancient life planet was almost destroyed. The main reason was that the dark matter caused chaos and shattered the great Tao Immortal Mountain, causing some rocks to fall off. As for you, if I'm not wrong, the rocks should have gained sentience and cultivated into a human form. Sect Master Crepe Myrtle's expression turned ugly. He really didn't expect Su Yan to see through everything. His current cultivation realm was too high, and he could see through many things with a single glance. I have a question. Back then, did you join forces with the people of the Yin-Yang Road to control the great Tao Immortal Mountain? Stop talking. Sect Master Crepe Myrtle was furious. He originally thought that after entering the great Tao Immortal Mountain, he would refine the great Tao Immortal Mountain into his body and become a top expert in the universe. In the end, he was wrong. Because part of the Immortal Mountain had already been eroded by the darkness, it was very difficult to control. Of course, this was not the main reason. On the day the demonic fog erupted, the old village chief came and sealed him in the great Tao Immortal Mountain. It seems like my guess is similar. The old village chief placed a seal in your remnant soul. You're quite pitiful. You didn't get anything and instead survived in this ghastly state. Su Yan's words made Sect Master Crepe Myrtle's expression turn ferocious. He roared, "Are you that old bastard's disciple? He suppressed me here for 100 years. Do you know what I've been through all these years?" Sect Master Crepe Myrtle hated the old village chief to the extreme. Originally, he had a great plan. In the end, he lost everything and even had to endure the pain of being eroded by the darkness every day. It was really better to die. However, he could not die. The Immortal Mountain protected his primordial spirit. He could not die at all. Sect Master Crepe Myrtle had suffered here day and night for 100 years. This was the old village chief's punishment for Sect Master Crepe Myrtle. This was the cruel fate of those who dared to touch the Immortal Mountain. So, I came here to help you free yourself. Su Yan looked at Xian Tyran, who was about to climb up, and then looked at Sect Master Crepe Myrtle. He said, "What, are you still unwilling? Can you really save me?" Sect Master Crepe Myrtle did not believe it. He knew very well what the universe would experience once the darkness matter erupted. Would Su Yan open the great Tao Immortal Mountain? Of course. Su Yan nodded seriously. He had already begun to break the seal. However, he reminded Sect Master Crepe Myrtle. However, you can indeed escape from the pain, but the great Tao Immortal Mountain will not belong to you. Not even a grain of soil can. You! Sect Master Crepe Myrtle screamed. If he lost the great Tao Immortal Mountain, he would lose his body. He would become a lonely ghost. What was the point of having it? He was about to go crazy from anger. He would rather die than live. Boom! At this moment, Xian Tyran reached the peak of the great Tao Immortal Mountain. His body was covered in golden armor and surged with blazing immortal light. He looked down at Su Yan from above and said coldly, "Can you stop resisting now?" If you keep fighting, I'm really worried that I'll accidentally kill you. Su Yen became calmer. He stood on the peak and looked at Xian Tairan. He said, I'm really curious. Why are you Xian people targeting me? Are you saying that I'm more attractive than the treasures of Xianhuang? You're right. Very attractive. Xian Tairan smiled. How can it not be attractive when it concerns the supreme of the emperor ranking? Supreme of the emperor ranking? Su Yen was surprised. He immediately thought of the white mist. Was that thing really that amazing? Did the Xian people get another ball of white mist? He felt that it was very likely. This also proved that the white mist was too valuable. Su Yen had only been in the immortal realm for a few years, but his Yuan spirit was about to enter the immortal realm. It was as if the Xian people had obtained the supreme Overlord. If he absorbed the white mist, the power of his Yuan spirit would definitely skyrocket. It was the same as giving him supreme potential. That's right. Unfortunately, you don't understand the value of the supreme of the emperor ranking. Xian Tairan said coldly. Although I don't know what you're after, I still understand the emperor ranking. Why would you want me to marry into the Xian people and become the supreme of the Xian people's emperor ranking? Su Yen sneered. You're really courting death. You're about to die and you still dare to talk nonsense. Xian Tairan said in a sinister tone, I won't tell you now. You'll know when you come to the Xian people. If you're useful to the Xian people, I might spare your life. But if not, you'll die a horrible death. Ha 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 ha. Su Yen laughed angrily. It's not over yet. Isn't it too early to talk about this? What right do you have to struggle in front of me? Xian Tairan said coldly. I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you. Just accept your fate. Boom. His large hand reached out, covering the sky and covering the earth as he tried to suppress Su Yen. Xian Tairan's time was limited. He had to return to his family as soon as possible. Maybe Xian Huiyu still had a chance to survive. Su Yan's aura skyrocketed. His flesh shell burned away all the vitality. The indestructible body was forcefully pushed to the initial success stage. Accept my fate? Su Yan's golden hair danced in the wind. He laughed angrily. My life is not up to you to decide. Bam! Bam! Su Yan's palm landed on the great Tao celestial mountain. The old village chief won't blame me for this. What's an old monster of the Xian people? If I'm suddenly suppressed and taken away by them, they can still pay a huge price to invade the Xianhuang universe. Only by opening the source of darkness can we force the Xian people to retreat. He grabbed the mountain with both hands and roared. His aura skyrocketed and his courage was peerless. Open! His roar resounded throughout the entire space-time. The majestic Great Tao Celestial Mountain also began to move. Billions of deaths and injuries suddenly. Let me bear this great karma. I don't believe that I'll lose to the end. Su Yen roared and lifted the Great Tao Celestial Mountain. His bloody figure was particularly frightening. This was also accompanied by a wave of darkness that erupted like a giant mushroom cloud. In an instant, it swallowed Su Yen and Xian Tairan. Chapter 1381. The moment the Great Tao Immortal Mountain, which had been guarding this place for a long time, was lifted, Sect Master Ziwei took control of the entire mountain. He wanted to escape. As long as he had some time to become one with the Great Tao Immortal Mountain, he would definitely become an expert among experts. Unfortunately, the Great Tao Immortal Mountain did not fly far. A ball of primordial spirit power swept over and hit Sect Master Ziwei's soul. Bastard! Sect Master Ziwei let out a cry of despair. His remnant soul was collapsing and was about to dissipate. You lunatic, you won't live either. You won't be able to escape. The moment Sect Master Ziwei exploded, he also saw Su Yen being swallowed by the demonic fog. Who could walk out alive with a huge amount of dark matter suppressed below? Su Yen, why do you have to do this? The golden woman trembled as she stared blankly at Su Yen being swallowed by the demonic fog. She felt an inexplicable heartache. Although she was a prisoner, she had lived peacefully all these years. She had also made a bet with Su Yen. If Su Yen could survive the calamity, she would be willing to be Su Yan's maid. But now, Su Yen had given up on survival. He had given up hope of survival. You can go. Su Yen threw out the void treasure and let the golden woman go. At the same time, Su Yen stretched out his large hands and grabbed Xian Tyran's body. Xian Tyran was also in a daze. He looked at the billowing black aura below and goosebumps rose all over his body. What was this? This was dark matter, a calamity that even the Xian people's patriarchs feared. Back then, 2 of the Xian people's patriarchs had their lives devoured by dark matter. Only Xian Tyran survived and left with Xian Huiyu. In the years after returning to the Xian people, Xian Tyran had read a large number of books about dark matter and came to a shocking conclusion. The transformation of the Xian Wang celestial domain back then was led by dark matter. Everyone would pale when they talked about it. It was listed as a taboo. Even the powerful heavenly domain's universe could transform and have its life energy devoured. It was hard to imagine how powerful dark matter was. However, didn't Realm C leave? Why was there still dark matter in the black-yellow universe? This made Xian Tyran tremble in fear. You lunatic! In an instant, Xian Tyran roared furiously. He was really mad. A massive amount of dark matter surged out, instantly engulfing Xian Tyran, who had the strongest life aura. Xian Tyran felt despair. He struggled madly, wanting to escape from the bipolar star. However, he couldn't do it because Su Yen had grabbed his arm. Xian Tyran roared angrily, "You lunatic, lunatic, lunatic!" Xian Tyran had never imagined that Su Yen would use such a method to perish together with him. Once Su Yen died, the Xian people's mission would be declared a failure. Didn't you want to arrest me and take me away? Come on. Su Yen laughed angrily. This devil mist will suck away all your life energy. No matter how strong your defense is, it'll be useless. You lunatic! Xian Tyran was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. His roar shook the entire starry sky. His body surged with the power of extreme Tao immortal metal. He wanted to crush the devil mist and blast open a tunnel to escape from the black-yellow universe. However, Su Yan's arm was similarly blazing. Moreover, the most terrifying life energy in his body was burning and reviving. As a result, Su Yan's hands were like huge dragons as they grabbed Xian Tyran's body. I'm only one step away from success. Just one more step. I can't lose. Xian Tyran roared. His aura grew stronger and stronger. In the end, his entire body released a terrifying light that caused Su Yan's arm to bend. His bones were shattering, and his arms were about to explode. You can't escape. Su Yan roared. He endured the pain. His arms were still glowing as he grabbed Xian Tyran. Rumble. The devil mist continued to erupt. The dark matter that was like an ocean had already entered Xian Tyran's body. In the end, his life aura was greatly damaged, and he was rapidly declining. He felt as if countless ants were crawling all over his body. In the process, they devoured the vigorous life energy in his body. This caused Xian Tyran to feel fear and despair. He was growing weaker and weaker. I don't want to die. Xian Huiyu's remnant soul was savage. She was in great pain and despair. She did not want to die yet. She was still young, and she still had hopes of reconstructing her body. However, it was too late. Not even the extreme Tao immortal metal could withstand the world shrouded by the dark matter. Boom! The broken cauldron fell from the skies. It suppressed Su Yan's head and blocked off most of the devil mist's invasion. However, this cauldron was still broken in the end. It could only block off most of the dark matter. There was still a small amount of dark matter that invaded Su Yan's body. This caused Su Yan's aura to rapidly decline. What kind of supreme treasure is this? Xian Tyran's expression changed. The broken cauldron shone with a faint radiance. Strange patterns flashed on the cauldron's walls. They were so grand that they seemed like a sea of stars that encompassed the entire starry sky. Above the broken cauldron, Xian Tyran could vaguely sense a grand aura that transcended the past, present, and future. He felt incredulous. What kind of supreme treasure could block off the invasion of the dark matter? Xian Tyran resisted. He wanted to snatch the broken cauldron away. This was his only chance to leave this place alive. However, it was a pity that he had no chance at all. He could not even move. His body was firmly grasped by Su Yan. "Stop struggling. You can't escape," Su Yan said coldly. "If you want to kill me, it's not as simple as paying a price. You should accept your fate." Right now, the entire bipolar star was filled with dark matter. Billions of strands of dark matter were erupting. However, there was a powerful seal around the bipolar star that temporarily blocked the invasion of the dark matter. Even so, the rolling waves caused the bipolar star to tremble violently. A mysterious radiance rose from it, and there were faint signs of it exploding. The East Devil's eyes were red. Su Yan had overturned the great Tao Immortal Mountain. He wanted to perish together with the Xian people's experts. Of course, his main purpose was not to get rid of Xian Tyran. Once the devil mist erupted, the dark matter in the mysterious yellow universe would inevitably force the entire immortal clan to retreat. Only in this way would he be able to gain some time to catch his breath. After all, there were 9 great immortal mountains in the Xianhuang universe. This was just one of the seals. It was impossible for the dark matter to sweep through the ancient Xianhuang universe in such a short time. What's going on? I have a bad feeling about this. In the outer space, the experts of the Xian people who were entrenched were discussing. Su Yan had gone to the bipolar star. It had been a while. Why hadn't he come out yet? Even now, the entire planet was trembling. What was going on inside? After all, with a layer of seal between them, no one could see the changes in the bipolar star. Xian Tyran had a bad feeling. He felt that his connection with a part of his soul light was getting weaker and weaker. What was going on? It shouldn't be. Xian Tyran frowned and said, "With the armor formed by the extreme Tao Immortal Gold, even Immortal Tao Realm experts can't tear it apart. There's nothing that can stop him. There's nothing." He held his breath and waited patiently. As long as he could send Su Yan out, everything would be settled. Xian Huiyu would also have hope of rebuilding his physical body. There would be hope for him to redeem his previous failure. Everything can end now. It's over. In the bipolar star, Xian Tyran's main body had no idea what his soul light had experienced. His soul light was about to be extinguished. In fact, even if he suppressed Su Yan now, he couldn't fly out of this dark space. Soon after, Xian Tyran realized that even the energy of the extreme Tao Immortal Gold was being devoured by the dark matter. Even the extreme Tao Immortal Gold couldn't withstand the corrosion of the dark matter. Just how terrifying was the dark matter sealed below? Su Yan was very calm. The remnant cauldron above his head shone brightly, isolating him from most of the devilish mist. However, his appearance was also gradually aging. His powerful, indestructible golden body had already started to degenerate. "Now, it's time for you Xian people to accept your fate," Su Yan shouted coldly. Xian Tyran couldn't hold on any longer. His aura was greatly damaged, and his life force was dropping rapidly. His entire body was turning dark, and his life force was about to be devoured. Xian Tyran calmed down and sneered. "So what if I failed? It's no big deal. I just lost some treasures. It's nothing. But you're different." "What? Do you have something to say before you die?" Su Yan said coldly. "I'm all ears." "You're different." Xian Tyran looked at Su Yan with pity. He sneered. "Poor thing. You were blessed with great fortune and had the qualifications to be ranked on the emperor rankings. Unfortunately, you didn't grasp this opportunity. In the end, it was obtained by us Yen people. That ball of black mist is really strong. It's hard to trace its origin. It's hard to trace its origin. It might be the supreme substance in the imperial region. Imperial region? Su Yen was surprised. Could the imperial region be at the end of the Emperor Road? Wait a minute. Black mist? Why was it black mist? Su Yen was at a loss. His primordial spirit controlled the white fog. Could it be the black fog? Black and white mist. This shocked Su Yen greatly. Could it be that the effects of the two types of mist were different? If the white mist nourished the primordial spirit, what did the black mist nourish? But how could the two types of mist be absorbed and devoured so easily? The white mist had almost taken Su Yan's life. Your soul light will be extinguished. Su Yan calmed himself down and said, My primordial spirit will be extinguished as well. You're really careful, aren't you? You want to know? I won't tell you. Xian Tyran said coldly. In short, we Xian people will be the overlords in the future. We'll be glorious, and you'll just be a little brat, a pile of bones. But aren't you the same? Su Yan sneered. I'm a pile of bones. What are you? You can't even conquer a universe defended by an undying being. You're just a piece of trash. Su Yan. Xian Tyran howled. Xian Tyran let out a shrill cry. His expression was so ferocious that he looked like a malicious spirit as he violently shook off Su Yan's arm. He pounced on Su Yan. Although they were only a palm's distance away, it felt as if they were separated by an entire universe. In the end, he fell into the bottomless black abyss. He let out an indignant roar and disappeared without a trace. Su Yan coughed up a mouthful of blood and knelt on one knee in the void. He was so weak that he could barely stand. I want to go home. I want to live. He shook his head and tried to pull himself together. He struggled to get up. A wisp of will supported Su Yan. He did not want to die yet. He still had some unfinished business. He didn't want to die here, even if it was a sudden death. The damaged cauldron was still hanging above his head. It scattered waves of clear light and blocked the corrosion of a large amount of dark matter. However, just a small amount of devil mist was enough to make it difficult for Su Yan to resist. I want to go home. Frost, Big Brother misses you. Bamboo Moon, I miss you too. I want to go home. Su Yan let out a hysterical roar. He began to charge toward the sealed entrance of the bipolar star. He did not want to die here. He did not want to be accompanied by darkness. Chapter 1382. Boom. There was a loud explosion that shook the heavens and the earth. Even the ancient Xian Huang universe let out a violent roar. The energy storm was too frightening. The old leaders who had rushed to the bipolar star trembled violently and were all sent flying. They were all sent flying. The commotion was too violent and sudden. The vast universe began to shake. In the process, the stars trembled and the sea of stars swayed. Many realms collapsed and black cracks appeared. The universe seemed unstable and was about to collapse. The turbulent storm swept through the entire universe, causing an unprecedented tremor. Is that the sound of the human emperor and the Xian people fighting? The Ziwei segmentum shook the most violently. Some of the experts who had returned from the chaos ruins felt as if their guts were about to burst. They felt as if the Ziwei segmentum was about to explode and was about to be destroyed. Fortunately, because of the previous battle, billions of creatures in the major galaxies had left their homelands and gone to the chaos ruins. Otherwise, who knew how many innocent people would have been killed by this huge change? Of course, even in the chaos ruins, the earth began to shake. Many people could not stand steadily and fell to the ground, their faces as pale as snow. What was going on? What had happened? Why were the energy fluctuations so violent? Huiyu will definitely succeed. If he fails, I will crush the Xianhuang universe and let them all die with him. In the outer space, the heavily injured Xian Tairan looked gloomy. His aura was as cold as a ghost. His clone had fallen and his main body was heavily injured. The children he was most proud of were also facing the end of their lives. If he still failed, how could he be reconciled? Xian Tairan decided to report to the Xian people. Just the three most powerful supernatural powers in history were enough to make the Xian people pay a huge price to attack the Xianhuang universe. Dong. Loud sounds came one after another. There were 9 consecutive sounds as if a huge bell was shaking. Boom. In the end, all the seals of the bipolar star collapsed, along with an ancient planet of life. The bipolar star has exploded? Emperor Nan was shocked. This was the bipolar star that had been sealed for many years. At this time, it collapsed and an ancient planet of life exploded, giving birth to a tide of energy. The rumbling sound shook the heavens and the earth, echoing in the universe. Then, a vigorous and surging demonic fog that was like a black ocean surged into the sky. This was the opening of a terrifying devil's den, causing millions and millions of miles of land to become pitch black like ink. The Yin energy was dense, as if it was the legendary limitless purgatory. Moreover, this shocking scene of darkness was spreading towards the distant world. From this moment on, all the powerhouses of the Xian people fell silent. Xian Tairan was also trembling with anger. He sensed that his mixed light had been extinguished. The gloominess in his heart was in a mess, and in the end, he spat out a mouthful of blood. I hate it! The Xian people's patriarch's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. He was so angry that he was trembling, and the veins all over his body were bulging. One could imagine how angry he was. Who could match the dark matter? Back then, when the 3 great ancestors descended to the Xianhuang universe, 2 of them died because of the ripples created by the dark matter. Suddenly, no matter how strong the extreme Tao immortal metal was, it couldn't stop the disaster of darkness. Su Yan was trying to take him down with him. Bastard, how can there be dark matter in the Xianhuang universe? Xian Changhe's expression was also extremely ugly. One had to know that even the mighty Xianhuang universe had changed because of the invasion of the dark matter. That incident had caused great fear in the undying heavenly domain, and it had also massacred a large number of top powerhouses in the Xianhuang universe. The Xian people's patriarchs were all panicking. They didn't want to provoke the dark matter. The powerful celestial court had been destroyed because of the dark matter, and the Xian people didn't want to repeat the same mistake. Darkness blotting out the sun. The old leader's chest rose and fell violently, and his breathing became heavy. He instantly thought of many things. No! He roared, and his eyes turned red. Could it be that Su Yan had opened the source of darkness and was trying to take Xian Tairan down with him? Don't panic. The severely injured Baokai was so badly mangled that his appearance couldn't be distinguished. He pulled the old leader with his claws and said, Su Yan has a supreme treasure that can protect him from the invasion of the dark matter. If he really used the source of darkness to deal with Xian Huiyu, Su Yan wouldn't have died. Yes, yes. Yuan was also agitated. Was this a turn of events? Su Yan had the power to resist the dark matter. They had all seen it with their own eyes in the past. If Su Yan really used the devil fog to kill Xian Huiyu, then Su Yan wouldn't have died. With the broken cauldron, how could he die? Look, a humanoid creature is flying out. It must be Su Yan. He's still alive. Baokai exclaimed. He saw a blood-stained figure in the dark space that covered the sun. He started to move towards them. Su Yan. Yuan recognized him immediately. He was overjoyed because he saw the broken cauldron above his head that was blocking the darkness. Just as they were about to cross the dark tide, Su Yan's primordial spirit fluctuated and stopped them. Once Emperor Nan and the others rushed in, no one would be able to survive. Even the powerful Xian Huiyu had died. Who could survive? Hurry up, Baokai roared. He realized that Su Yan's situation wasn't good. His blood-stained body was very old, and his qi and blood were dried up. Moreover, there was dark matter surging in his body. This was the devil fog devouring his vitality. Ah! Su Yan was in great pain. His body was trembling. He couldn't walk anymore. His spirit and will were a little blurry. This path was too long, too long. It was so long that he didn't want to walk anymore. He had no strength left. The entire universe was frighteningly silent. There was no sound at all. Almost everyone was trembling and having difficulty breathing. They stared at Su Yan and the trembling human emperor. In the end, many people in the universe were so depressed that they started to roar. Human Emperor, hurry up and come out. Run. A large number of experts roared. Their hearts were like being stabbed by a knife. They didn't want to see this scene. Su Yan looked too old. His hair was snow-white, and his qi and blood were dried up. There was almost no life in him. The universe was mourning. Could the human emperor still come out? The area covered by the devil fog was too vast. It was even gradually spreading in all directions. If this continued, with the human emperor's physical strength, it would be difficult for him to walk out. I can't do it, Su Yan murmured. He held his head with both hands. He really couldn't take it anymore. You can do it, you can do it, Isiyun cried and waved at Su Yan. She said in a hoarse voice, Come out, Su Yan. You can do it. We are still waiting for you. Please come out. Now is not the time to joke. I really can't do it. Su Yan smiled bitterly. His will was gradually blurring. He was too weak and even collapsed in the darkness. It was difficult for him to continue struggling. Su Yan, come out. Come out. Yuan roared. Her whole body was trembling, and her eyes were bloodshot. She angrily rebuked the Xian people experts in the outer realm. Xian people, if Su Yan falls, I will make you pay with your blood. Good child, come out quickly. The old leader seemed to have aged many years in an instant. He was murmuring something, but no one knew what he was saying. The whole world shook. Su Yan's physical body withered and died. His signs of life collapsed in the Qiankuan world, shrouded in the devil fog. Will the human emperor really fall? They were in a daze. They had seen everything with their own eyes. The human emperor was already so tired. Could he still walk out? This was the devil fog. Who could get close? Once they got close, the experts' lives would wither away. Now, no one had the power to send Su Yan out. The East Devil wanted to take a gamble. However, when he got close to the darkness, his whole body trembled as if he had gone mad. Devil light flashed in his body. This devil light even wanted to devour the East Devil completely. West Buddha's expression changed. He quickly rushed in and pulled the East Devil out from the edge. He was really worried that the East Devil would go mad. Su Yan, don't sleep. Open your eyes and take a look. Tenser's eyes were red. He wanted to see Su Yan stand up and charge towards the outside. Crack! Suddenly, Su Yan's body, which was covered in rolling darkness, started to crack. He was too old. He had fought until his life force was exhausted. Now, his body was starting to crack. Many cracks appeared. However, there was no blood in his body. It had all flowed out. He was like a broken porcelain that would shatter into ashes at any time. Painful roars echoed in the starry sky. Was he going to fall just like that? Was this the end? It's all my fault. The Baokai had a hard time breathing. It still had a breath and would not die. It was in pain. If it had come out of seclusion earlier, if it had not been so afraid of death, if it had broken through the 9 great heavenly gates test earlier, if it had handed the broken cauldron to Su Yan earlier, then everything would have happened. It would not have gone on like this. The Baokai felt guilty and pained. If it had not been for it, perhaps Su Yan would not have fallen. Emperor Nan was silent. He patted the Baotsai's blood-stained body. No matter what, they were all brothers who had gone through thick and thin together. No one wanted to see the other fall. Su Yen was in a desperate situation. Emperor Nan was in a bad mood. He wanted to cry, but he held it in. "Brother, brother, I'm here. Brother, I miss you, brother." A pitiful voice traveled into the darkness and woke up Su Yen, who was gradually losing consciousness. He opened his eyes. Vaguely, he saw a hazy figure in the distance. "Frost," Su Yen murmured. He stretched out his hand, wanting to grab the person in the distance. "Brother can't go back." "I'm sorry," Su Yen smiled. All this time, Su Yen felt guilty towards Frost. As her elder brother, he did not take care of her for long. She had been wandering the universe for 100 years. Originally, Su Yen wanted to rush out. He wanted to hold on to his last breath, meet his family and friends, and bid them a proper farewell. But he could not take it. He sighed softly with regret in his heart. Many years ago, he wanted to see Bamboo Moon. But he did not get the chance. He even wanted to go to the undying heavenly domain. He wanted to see how big the outside world was. How strong were the immortal sects? How could they compete with the legendary Ingjia? Of course, what he wanted most was to follow the Emperor's road to the destination of the final battle. He wanted to find out where he came from. He did not want to die without knowing where he came from. But he could not do it. Although it was a pity that his life had withered, it was enough to look back on this life. "I really can't go back. Goodbye." Su Yen closed his eyes. His whole body was swallowed by the darkness. His body fell. Being able to see Frost before his death, he didn't have too many regret. Finally, Su Yen was swallowed by the darkness. No one in the universe could see him anymore. Chapter 1383. Why does my heart suddenly hurt? Within Sky Bamboo Mountain, a beautiful woman was sitting cross-legged under a giant yellow bamboo. She wore a silver robe and looked dignified and beautiful. She was like a divine moon, full of colors. She had been comprehending the Tao here, exploring the mysteries of life's evolution. She had been silent for many years, and now her body was trembling. Even her quiet primordial spirit was rippling. She was panicking, and it was difficult for her to breathe. "My heart hurts so much." Bamboo Moon clenched her slender hands. She wanted to wake up. She felt that something big had happened, and she had to wake up. "Ah!" Giant Bamboo sighed and used a seal to cut off all connections between this place and the outside world. Bamboo Moon had reached the most important juncture. She would soon rely on herself to dig out the immortal matter. Since she had reached this point, how could all her previous efforts be wasted? She could not be affected by other factors. Bamboo Moon's aura gradually stabilized. She once again entered the path of exploring life's essence. The deeper she explored, the more solid the Sky Bamboo manifestation behind her became. This somewhat blurry Sky Bamboo seemed to stretch to the end of the path to immortality. It wanted to pluck the strongest life essence and open a path for Bamboo Moon to transform. She was about to succeed. If she was slow, it would take 3 to 5 years. If she was fast, it would take just a few months. "I hope you won't blame me when the time comes. But I don't have much lifespan left. I don't know if I can last until the day you leave seclusion." Giant Bamboo sighed. Su Yen most likely would not survive. He was shocked that Su Yen had used such a method to break through the situation. He had risked his life to kill Xian Huiyu. But Su Yen also could not endure it. He could not walk out of this world of darkness. His entire person had fallen into the darkness. This was very cruel. He was also clear about the relationship between Bamboo Moon and Su Yen. But Bamboo Moon's cultivation had reached the most important juncture. He really could not allow her to leave seclusion now. Xian Tairan was about to go crazy. He saw Su Yen, but he did not see Xian Huiyu. Huiyu! His ferocious face was directly distorted, and his liver was greatly angered, causing his injuries to become even more severe. He coughed up large mouthfuls of blood, and his body staggered, but his eyes were filled with even more frenzied killing intent. Xian Huiyu was the child he was most proud of. He had led his clone into the Xianhuang universe, but he had suffered a crushing defeat. Now, he had even died without a corpse, defeated in one battle. But in the end, he didn't get anything. He only fought to the death for Su Yan. Su Yan was nothing to them. For the Xian people, what they wanted was the secret of the evolution of the black-yellow universe and more black mist. But now, they got nothing, not even a living expert from the black-yellow universe. Kill, kill. Xian Tairan was about to go mad. He wanted to kill his way over and wipe out the entire Xianhuang universe to vent his anger. Calm down. Xian Changhe rebuked angrily. It's already like this. Even if you rush in now, it won't do you any good. You'll only be throwing your life away. This matter should be discussed at length. What's there to discuss at length? Xian Tairan roared. Immediately send an order back to the family. I want to attack the black-yellow universe and tear apart the seal. I want the entire black-yellow universe to be reduced to a scorched earth where not even a blade of grass can grow. The group of Xian people was so frightened that they didn't dare to speak. This was the first time they had seen Xian Tairan lose control. After all, he had lost too much. The successive defeats were a heavy blow to Xian Tairan. A mere Su Yan had actually caused the Xian people to suffer heavy casualties. Xian Changhe sighed. He knew very well that with the appearance of the black matter, the Xian people wouldn't attack the black-yellow universe anymore. After all, this calamity was too great. It was even related to the final war. The Xian people wouldn't attack the black-yellow universe again, lest they really got into trouble. Su Yan. The Baokai was in great pain and grief. It roared at the dark spacetime, hoping to see him walk out alive. After all, this was different from the past. In the past, the universe would often pass on the news of Su Yan's death. But this time, it was different. He had fallen into the darkness. This was a calamity that had almost destroyed the black-yellow universe. Who could resist it? They waited anxiously and uneasily. Day after day passed. The old chief and the others were like statues, staring blankly at the dark spacetime. Even the billowing demonic fog had begun to slowly expand towards the distant world. Along the way, nothing existed anymore. The immense vitality of the star field had begun to be devoured. Is the human sovereign really not coming back? It's already been 3 days and 3 nights. Many experts from various orthodoxies and clans had come. They were all extremely sad. They also brought along secret healing medicines, hoping to see the human sovereign crawl out of hell and help him. This place was filled with people. Xia Jingang and the others just looked at it, tears in their eyes. They didn't cry. Su Yan had only left Earth for 100 years. Many things were only heard of in legend. They hadn't seen it with their own eyes. Now, almost all the orthodoxies and clans in the world had sent cultivators here. One could imagine that Su Yan, who had grown up together with them in the academy, had only grown for 100 years. How terrifying was he? Everyone in the universe was upset. What hope was there? Even if the true immortals of the great all-embracing heaven came, they broke through the demonic fog and brought out Su Yan. But at that time, Su Yan was already dead. Everyone could see clearly that the human sovereign was not coming back. Boo-hoo! Liang Yan cried. She cried so sadly that she almost fainted several times. She had a gentle personality, but sometimes she was very unyielding. She looked at the dark world and cried bitterly. Why did it turn out like this? Why did he leave just like that? She really wanted to see Su Yan's figure walk out of the darkness again. Is there no hope? The old chief was in a daze. He had always thought that Su Yan was a child gifted to them by the heavens. He was a child born from the universe's origin. He was the mother of the universe. Su Yan did not disappoint them. He rose all the way and finally destroyed the various clans in the ancestral hall. But the waters of the Xianhuang universe were too deep. The Xian people wanted everything in the Xianhuang universe and all the treasures. In fact, the old chief couldn't figure it out. He felt that he had overlooked something. Why did the Xian people target Su Yan? Could it be that Su Yan was special in some way? Was it worth the Xian people spending De Li's qi to deal with him? You think too much. The old chief sighed. What was the point of thinking about this now? The blacksmith returned from the Zhang family village. His face was bald. He tried to communicate with the old chief and let him take charge of the situation, but the old chief's seclusion place was almost sealed. There was no aura coming out. The universe mourned. The catastrophe dispersed. The Xian people left in large numbers, but the human sovereign was no longer there. Why is the heavens so cruel? It's so unfair. Many people roared at the source of darkness. They really wanted to see Su Yan once again rule the world, rule the Xianhuang universe, and lead the clans to rise. Time flew. Soon, a month had passed. Too many people were in despair. It had been a month. Many people had waited for a month. The dark matter continued to expand. Although the darkness had only nibbled away 1,000th of the vast Xianhuang universe's territory, someone was buried in it and could not come back. It seems that Su Yan has fallen. It's a pity that we couldn't catch him in the end. In the outer space, a group of Xian people stayed behind and waited. They did not receive any orders from the Xian people for a month. This meant that the Xian people would not use force against the Xianhuang universe. They regretted that Su Yan had fallen. The one qi into 3 pure ones and the initial force were most likely buried in the darkness. If the seal of the Xianhuang universe disappeared one day, the Xian people would send people to explore the Xianhuang universe again. But would the strongest supernatural powers in history be preserved? Would Tai Baokai and the others be able to survive? The darkness would continue to devour the Xianhuang universe. It would not take long for the seal to disappear, and the Xianhuang universe would be completely dark. By then, nothing would be left. Ancestor, it's time to act. We've waited long enough. On the other side, the experts of the heavenly bamboo branch were ready to act. They did not have much time left as the darkness was coming. They had to solve the matter here quickly. Not now. The more important it is, the more we can't let the Xian people know that our clan can open the seal. They have paid a heavy price after all. If they know that our clan can open the seal, it won't be a good thing. The ancestor of the heavenly bamboo branch said, "The Xian people's people are still here. It won't take long for them to leave one by one. By then, it'll be the best time to enter the Xianhuang universe." Zhu Yao's heart was burning. There must be a great opportunity in the place where the ancestor had fallen. If the heavenly bamboo branch grasped it, it would be a great opportunity, especially for the younger generation. By then, there would be a place for her in the top 100 monarch rankings. Time passed slowly. The universe was peaceful for half a year. East Demon's expression was grave. Half a year had passed, but the darkness matter was still expanding. Fortunately, there was no realm C leading the way, or else the consequences would be unimaginable. Baotsai's willpower was low, his spirit dispirited. Yuan, Old Chief, Emperor Nan, Blacksmith, Tensor, and West Buddha. The 8 undying beings suddenly howled in grief. Half a year had passed, they could not continue like this. Su Yan was gone. But the Xian people were still here, the enemy was still here. The miser was sent to the immortal realm ruins to recuperate, hoping that he could borrow the true phoenix energy to survive. I really want to tear the Xian people to shreds. Yuan clenched his fists, saying to Baokai and the others, "We can't continue like this either. I don't believe that Su Yan will really fall. We have to pull ourselves together and get revenge." Hong. The 8 undying beings erupted in unison, their auras blazing, releasing heaven overflowing killing intent. They didn't believe that they couldn't shake the Xian people in the future. Each of them had great courage and perseverance. They didn't believe that they couldn't rise in the future. It's time to make a decision. Baokai looked at Bing Shuang. Although he was unwilling, things had already come to this, and there was nothing he could do. Big Brother can't come back. he really can't come back. Su Bingshuang had lost a lot of weight, and her expression was gloomy. She wanted to find a piece of bone, a piece of battle armor, and build a cenotaph for Su Yan. However, there was nothing left in this battle. The only thing left for them was endless grief and sorrow. In the dark space-time, the Yin energy was dense, and the aura of death was so thick that no one dared to go near. In the pitch-black world, one couldn't even see their own fingers. It was like an ancient demonic abyss, swallowing all life energy. At the bottom of this demonic abyss, there was a tattered body surrounded by dark matter. Su Yan's life force had already dried up, but the dark matter didn't stop swallowing him. The billowing source of darkness began to seep into the depths of Su Yan's flesh shell, drilling into his bones and blood. Suddenly, Su Yan's body trembled. Within his flesh shell, the dried-up essence blood began to shine. This was 9-colored blood being stimulated and flowing on its own. It was very special. It flashed with 9-colored immortal light, accompanied by rich prehistoric fluctuations. It even seemed like a terrifying apocalyptic aura was fighting against the darkness. Vaguely, a pair of eyes sputtered out, looking through the darkness. On the tattered Tao platform, the scattered skeleton released a weak light. It was looking at Su Yan. Why does it feel familiar? This is from before the apocalypse, the skeleton muttered, finding it inconceivable. Chapter 1384. His ruined body was bone-chillingly cold. However, his blood was still warm. It was surging and releasing immortal splendor. This was 9-colored blood. It was extremely special. Almost no one knew that such mysterious blood existed in this world. The 9-colored blood flickered with radiance, resisting the demonic mist's final corrosion. Su Yan's soul had long since fallen silent. His body had long since become ice-cold. As for the 9-colored blood's flow, it was all happening without anyone controlling it. This demonic mist was too powerful and strange. It had entered Su Yan's blood essence space-time and suddenly formed the special 10-colored blood. However, the demonic mist was devouring Su Yan's 9-colored blood. This was a different kind of battle. No one knew how long it would take to calm down. The universe had been peaceful for almost a year. On this day, Su Bingshuang wore hemp clothes to send off her brother's funeral. This was bad news. In a short period of time, it spread throughout the entire universe. The entire world trembled and countless creatures were in pain. The human emperor of a generation, born from calamity, had died in battle just like that? Why is it like this? The heavens are unfair. Someone screamed towards the heavens. The heavens are unfair. Human Emperor Su Yan has made great contributions to the universe. Why are the heavens so unfair that they want the human emperor to wither away? Everyone was in grief. How many years had it been since the universe's environment returned to the present? A series of major events had occurred, but each time, it was Su Yan who stepped forward bravely to resolve the fatal crisis. In the end, he risked his life to kill Xian Huiyu, intimidating the Xian people so that they no longer dared to attack the universe. The universe's calamity had dispersed, giving everyone hope to live on. However, Su Yan would never return. He was buried in the darkness. The heavens are jealous of the heroic. Someone's voice trembled. Is it true that the heavens are jealous of the human emperor? Are the Xian people so jealous of him that they want to end him? Su Yan's fall is an irreparable loss to our universe. I wonder how far the dark matter will spread. There were also people who were worried about the future. The darkness was still expanding. Perhaps in a few years, it would devour the entire starry sky. At present, the various races of the universe were living in the primal chaos ruins. However, it was as if they were waiting for death, waiting for the end of their lives. Cultivators from all great sects came to pay their respects to Su Yan. Looks like he's really dead. Several of the Xian people's experts had left. The remaining experts were still paying attention to the current situation in the black-yellow universe. They wondered if the dark matter would devour the entire black-yellow universe. If that was the case, it would be such a huge matter that a generation of the Xianhuang celestial domain could be declared dead. Brother Su, I'm here to see you. Zhu Xing came. The ancestral hall had been destroyed long ago, but there were still some survivors. In the end, the survivors of the ancestral hall discovered that the current Zhu Xing was the one with the strongest bloodline in the ancestral hall. In fact, he was the one with the strongest battle prowess. The survivors of the ancestral hall hoped that Zhu Xing would become the new clan master. They even requested that he change the clan name so that the clan could continue to exist. However, Zhu Xing refused. He brought some aged wine to pay his respects. Smiling bitterly, he said, "I'm still alive. Ai. Brother Su, it won't be long before the devil mist devours the entire Xianhuang universe. When that happens, we'll all be buried in the darkness. But you'll die with us." However, Zhu Xing smiled bitterly, "I hope that you won't trick me again in the other world. Ai. As for the undying heavenly domain, it was not peaceful at all. The major sects and orthodoxies were shocked. Many old antiques looked at the Xian people from afar. They did not expect that the Xian people would suffer such heavy losses in the past few years. A one-man monarch ranking? That Su Yan is dead? They were all shocked. This was too ridiculous. How many years had it been? How could he die so early? What a joke. Someone mocked, "What is this? What is the monarch ranking? How can it be controlled by the current poor people? A one-man monarch ranking? I think he couldn't bear the weight and died prematurely." "You can't say that." Someone shook his head and said, "It's said that Su Yan from the black-yellow universe killed Xian Hongda. You should have heard of Xian Hongda. Even the favorite child of one of the Xian people's ancestors, an expert of the immortal Tao, was killed." The impact of Xian Hongda's death was huge. Although many people did not know who Xian Hongda was, they were shocked when they heard that he was one of the 10 prodigies of the Xian people. It seemed like this Su Yan was really something. What a pity. If such a talent came to the undying heavenly domain, he might have a place in the top 100 of the monarch ranking. Some people felt that it was a pity. Although they had not seen Su Yan before, it was already amazing that he could kill Xian Hongda. Top 100 of the monarch ranking? You guys are underestimating the monarch ranking. Someone laughed and said, "The undying heavenly domain is endless. Not to mention, there are many geniuses in the big and small universes. It's very difficult to fight for the top 100. Even if the Emperor Road opens the 10,000 tribe battlefield, the fight for the top 100 would be extremely fierce. Otherwise, a wild cultivator from a resource-poor planet is so strong. If he could be nurtured by an orthodoxy, he might be able to shine." Some people did not think so. The experts all over the world were talking about it. After all, Su Yan was a famous person. Many forces pitted the Xian people. Their vitality was greatly damaged by a poor family. The Xian people were furious. No one knew who accidentally leaked the news. In short, this was a heavy blow to the Xian people's reputation. In short, the matter of Su Yan's death had created quite a storm. As for the Xianhuang universe, which was in the vast void, there was a sudden explosion that shook the heavens and the earth. Are the Xian people here again? The old leader and the others were shocked. The 8 undying beings rushed out from various domains. Their injuries were healed, and they even had a big breakthrough in their cultivation. Now, their faces were serious as they looked at the outer space. "Who's there?" The faces of the immortal clan experts also changed. When they saw a huge energy whirlpool appear in the void, their faces became gloomy. Then they were shocked. A vast wave of energy swept over. It was as if time and space were collapsing, causing a huge storm. The sky was filled with fragments of time. The great Tao collapsed and the void of space and time violently trembled. A massive blue stone bridge suddenly crossed the void of space and time and extended to this region. The Sky Bridge. The experts left behind by the Xian people were shocked because this was the real thing, not a replica. This was the famous treasure of the undying heavenly domain, the Sky Bridge. It was rumored that this bridge could cross the river of time, even having the ability to reverse time, let alone cross the boundary of nothingness. This sect's supreme treasure's reputation was too great. Is the Sky Bridge Elder here? They were shocked. This was a giant of the immortal orthodoxy, a legendary figure. Even the patriarch of the Xian people had to bow down in front of the Sky Bridge Elder. At this time, they saw one figure after another coming from the other side of the Sky Bridge. Soon, they arrived at this area. The three old men were not clear. The old man was dressed in black, and his face was deep. No one could see his expression. "Brothers, why have you come from afar?" The experts left behind by the Xian people quickly went up to greet them. They wanted to know why they were here, and how they knew the coordinates of the bound yellow universe. The three old men nodded slightly. One of them said, "We didn't expect to meet the Xian people. We're here to welcome the young master's servant. We don't have any other intentions." The immortals were an immortal orthodoxy with mighty divine might. Although old man Tongtian's reputation resounded like thunder in their ears, the immortals were still an immortal orthodoxy. Although the name of the Sky Bridge Elder was well known, his followers did not dare to disrespect the Xian people. The young master's servant. In another time and space, Zhu Yao's expression changed slightly. She was always proud, but she was speechless. The young master of the Sky Bridge Elder is famous. He's ranked third on the Emperor board. This was an unparalleled evaluation. The Emperor Road had not been opened, but the young master of the Sky Bridge Elder was already ranked third. He was the only successor of the Sky Bridge Elder, and it was said that he had the legendary Sky Bridge immortal body. It was a supreme physique. Unlike the indestructible golden body, the Sky Bridge immortal body was a natural physique. It was said that once the physique reached minor accomplishment, one's dermic powers would be overwhelming, and he would be invincible among his peers. Meanwhile, the young master of the Sky Bridge Elder had already reached minor accomplishment in his immortal body. Not to mention, he had received the true teachings of the Sky Bridge Elder. His combat strength was too amazing, and he was always regarded as one of the top 3 experts. It's said that the young master of the Sky Bridge Elder is fond of beautiful women. He has many servants, and each of them has amazing talents. Zhu Yao was shocked. There are many pearls of immortal orthodoxies following the young master of the Sky Bridge Elder. Could it be that one of his servants is in the bound yellow universe? Come back. The 3 old men used the power of the Sky Bridge to illuminate the bound yellow universe. Soon, they found a golden woman. The golden maiden was covered in golden armor. Her body was flawless, and her golden hair fell to her waist. She was indescribably beautiful. "Su Yan, the bet has failed. It seems that I can't be your servant anymore." The golden maiden sighed with reluctance in her eyes. When she looked up at the Sky Bridge, all her emotions were restrained. She looked cold and beautiful. Then, she soared into the sky and rushed to the outerverse. The bound yellow seal would not stop the people inside from rushing to the outside world. The golden maiden rushed out of the seal and came to the void. She bowed to the 3 old men. "Thank you for your trouble." At the same time, the golden maiden took out the bronze weapon tree and handed it to the 3 old men. The 3 old men were delighted and quickly used the Sky Bridge to seal the bronze weapon tree. They wondered if the weapon that the young master had raised for 1,000,000 years had taken shape. "What's that?" The Xian people wanted to peek, but they couldn't see anything clearly. "Young lady, please wait." A fairy powerhouse smiled. "You came from the bound yellow universe. I wonder what's the situation inside. Is Su Yan dead?" Hearing this, the golden maiden said coldly, "The Xian people are so mighty. Are you not satisfied after returning in defeat?" The Xian people's powerhouses were furious. They never thought that a maidservant would dare to ridicule them. Why, are you related to Su Yen? One of the black-clothed old men said with a sullen face. Fellow Taoists, you can't talk nonsense. The three old men's faces were gloomy. How could the maidservant of the Tongtian young master be tainted? I'm just saying. The black-clothed old man sneered. Su Yen is the strongest powerhouse of the younger generation in the bound yellow universe. It's normal for someone to admire him. The golden maiden snorted and walked toward the three old men without saying anything. It is said that the maidservants of the Tongtian young master are all as pure as ice and as pure as jade. This young lady is very mighty. I'm most likely related to Su Yen. The black-clothed old man didn't give up and said viciously, Fellow Taoists, you worry too much. The three old men said in unison, The Tongtian young master is famous. He's not someone who can be compared to a chicken. Don't talk nonsense. Be careful not to get into trouble. The powerhouses left behind by the Xian people were furious, but there was nothing they could do. With the Tongtian bridge here, they didn't dare to use force at all. The golden maiden glanced at the dark spacetime and stepped onto the Tongtian bridge. In the vast darkness, Su Yen had been dead for more than a year. On this day, a ball of blazing light was faintly burning in the darkness. 10 colors of matter were fighting with each other, like 10 supreme paths of heavenly ascension. But something amazing happened. A layer of dark light suppressed the 9-colored blood. However, the 9-colored blood was blending under the pressure and gradually fusing together. Chapter 1385. The 9-colored immortal radiance was vast and boundless. It was blazing and dazzling, and it even contained immortal essence. Moreover, these eternal immortal essences were extremely special. They seethed with the dense glow of time, and it was like they were slowly taking form after accumulating for a myriad of years. They could be called a supreme substance, and they seemed to be the ultimate precious medicines of legend. The 9-colored immortal radiance sprinkled down, penetrating Su Yan's damaged body. At this moment, Su Yan's flesh shell was stimulated and glowed. His body, which was originally extremely old and covered with large cracks, began to repair itself as it glowed and heated up. It cleansed Su Yan's body again and again. Moreover, the energy contained in the immortal essence was too majestic, and it wanted to push Su Yan's life force to a young age. Buzz! However, in an instant, a large amount of demonic fog once again eroded Su Yan's body. It was a very bizarre change. After this round of repair, the demonic fog's damage to Su Yan was somewhat reduced. However, this couldn't stop the massive amount of demonic fog from drilling into Su Yan's flesh shell, suppressing the 9-colored immortal radiance in one fell swoop. Although it was isolated by the darkness, the 9-colored immortal radiance was still powerful. It was self-strengthening, as if it had turned into another Su Yan, constantly resisting the dark matter, and even began to devour the dark matter. However, after devouring, the 9-colored immortal radiance had a layer of black matter. This didn't seem like devouring, but more like some kind of special assimilation? What did you say? On this day, the old leader was shocked. Su Bingshuang found her. She said that she saw a 9-colored radiance shining in the darkness. It was as bright as a 9-colored lamp, very blazing and dazzling. Su Bingshuang seemed very excited. She had been waiting near the darkness, always thinking that her brother wouldn't die. She saw the 9-colored immortal radiance and felt that Su Yan was still alive, still inside. The old leader was surprised and happy. He hurriedly gathered Bao Kai and the others. They joined forces and rushed into the world of darkness, opening their heaven's eye to investigate day and night. But after a whole month of searching, they didn't see any signs that Su Bingshuang had described. Bao Kai sighed. It knew that Bingshuang and Su Yan were not blood-related siblings. If they were blood-related siblings, perhaps Bingshuang would be able to sense Su Yan's bloodline energy. However, that was not the case. Perhaps Su Bingshuang had been yearning for him day and night and had seen some false images. Su Bingshuang still didn't believe it. She firmly believed that it wasn't some kind of illusion. Day and night, she stared into the darkness and observed. Just like that, another half a year passed. The boundless darkness continued to expand, to the point where one couldn't even see their own fingers. Too many starfields had fallen. It had been 2 years since the outbreak of the darkness. Many people were in despair. They had discovered a cruel problem. Sooner or later, the darkness would completely devour the entire black-yellow universe. And in the darkness, a shadow was still drifting aimlessly. Finally, one day, his icy body floated to the top of an ancient mountain and fell to the ground. Buzz. It was an outrageous change. Su Yan's withered body suddenly glowed. His body seemed to have turned into a vortex, with complex symbols manifesting. They were like metallic words that had a texture. A large number of words were arranged together, and they actually stole the energy of the great Tao Immortal Mountain. This secret technique was too special. It operated on its own, as if it was stealing the fortune of the heavens to nourish itself. What was this? This was the body-nurturing technique's spontaneous release. With Su Yan as the carrier, it stole the energy of the great Tao Immortal Mountain. Buzz. The resurrection of Su Yan's body was like an alternative continuation, steaming with a weak vitality. The darkness was still there, constantly devouring Su Yan's vitality. However, there was a lot of energy in the great Tao Immortal Mountain, constantly providing Su Yan with the power to regenerate his vitality. It was a stalemate, a confrontation between the body-nurturing technique and the darkness. As a result, Su Yan's body didn't completely wither. His body was still cold, but his blood hadn't dried up. The blood flowing in his body became more and more amazing. 10 different colors of blood mixed together, forming a special gray essence blood. It looked a little ridiculous. It was a bizarre change. But no matter what happened, Su Yan's soul had been extinguished. His primordial spirit seemed to have died. Although Su Yan's primordial spirit was still there, it had lost its spiritual will. Could he wake up? As the saying went, the lamp went out when a person died. But Su Yan's primordial spirit lamp had been extinguished. Was there any hope for him to be resurrected? Time passed, and another year went by. The cold body was still lying on the top of the great Tao Immortal Mountain. 3 years had passed. Su Yan's body was indestructible. It had been broken and rebuilt countless times. Finally, he could resist the corrosion of the dark matter with his body alone. In fact, it was mainly because Su Yan's blood was too special. The 9-colored blood mixed with the dark matter, forming the 10-colored blood. The bloodline assimilation was completed, forming the special gray blood. This blood contained a terrible power, like the power of great destruction. It allowed his body to resist the darkness and no longer be destroyed by it. As a result, the energy stolen by the body-nurturing technique was continuously stored in Su Yan's body. In these 3 years the universe had changed a lot. The area covered by the demonic fog became more and more vast. Many people were afraid day and night, worrying about the future. Would they all be buried with it? The problem of the universe was too serious. It had gone through a series of fierce battles. It was difficult to restore the complete environment of the universe. Now, the dark matter was constantly expanding. One day, it would completely cover the entire universe. On this day, only one of the weaker immortals stayed behind to guard the place. The rest had all left. 10 days later, the mighty figure of Sky Bamboo in the Milky Way sighed. On the way back to the clan, he received a message. His face changed in shock. He hurried back to the clan because it was a message from the giant bamboo. The entire Sky Bamboo bloodline was dead silent. The mighty figures of this race were all shocked and fearful as they prostrated themselves before the 2 esteemed guests who had suddenly arrived. Zhu Yao alone was enough to make them tremble. They even felt that Zhu Yao was stronger than Su Yan and had more vitality. When the mighty figure of Sky Bamboo arrived, he was also shocked. He looked at Zhu Yao as if he was looking at a vast and magnificent world. He was so shocked that he lost his mind. "Greetings, Senior." The mighty figure bowed. Zhu Yao frowned slightly. She was very direct. She waved her hand and said, "I don't like this title. Just call me Lady." She felt that the title Senior would make her sound old. She was very young and was a proud daughter of the Sky Bamboo bloodline. She was also a famous noble lady in the undying celestial domain. The mighty figure of Sky Bamboo was confused. What had happened? Could the legend be true? Their clan also had a place of origin in another universe? "I don't have much time left." At this moment, an old voice was heard. In the direction of Sky Bamboo Mountain, an almost dead giant bamboo said bitterly, "Once I leave Sky Bamboo Mountain, my vitality will dry up." Zhu Yao looked at Sky Bamboo Mountain. She had already seen that the giant bamboo's vitality had merged with Sky Bamboo Mountain. Once he moved recklessly, his vitality would quickly dry up. Sigh. The Sky Bamboo's patriarch sighed. He thought that he would be able to bring back a disciple of the primogenitor, but things did not go as he wished. His vitality was already very limited. "I've known about the primogenitor's death for many years. I sensed it," the giant bamboo said in a low voice. "Zhu Xiuqi's body has nurtured a trace of the primogenitor's Dharma power. I hope he can be of help to you." The giant bamboo was heartbroken. He was about to lose control of his emotions. He could not confirm the primogenitor's death in the past. Now that the people of the main clan had arrived and confirmed it, the giant bamboo was very upset. The great primogenitor had died. Would the Sky Bamboo bloodline still be the Sky Bamboo bloodline of the past? When the Xianwang bloodline encountered a catastrophe, the Sky Bamboo bloodline should have stood up to fight against the Xian people, but they did not. Therefore, the giant bamboo subconsciously felt that something was wrong with the Sky Bamboo bloodline. Without the primogenitor, the power of the entire clan was in the hands of the powerhouses of the bloodline with the Tsangtian physique. Back then, the primogenitor was very skilled. He knew that it was difficult for their clan to cultivate, so he created the current Sky Bamboo bloodline. This clan was very special. After the changes of time, they developed the Tsangtian physique, and quickly became the second bloodline of the clan. The other bloodline consisted of human cultivators who had nurtured the primogenitor's Dharma power. All of them had great achievements. Since the primogenitor had died, their bloodline must have withered. If they wanted to find the primogenitor's place of death, they had to nurture the primogenitor. Only those with the primogenitor's Dharma power would have a glimmer of hope. However, in the current Sky Bamboo bloodline, almost no one had nurtured the primogenitor's Dharma power since the primogenitor's death. In the Xianwang bloodline, it was because of Sky Bamboo Mountain that such cultivators emerged. "I'm willing to follow your orders." The Sky Bamboo powerhouse was shocked. He did not dare to ask more. Since the giant bamboo had said so, what else could he say? Doesn't he have anything else? Zhu Yao shook her head slightly. The Sky Bamboo powerhouse's cultivation was too low. Most importantly, the primogenitor's Dharma power in his body was very limited. He probably would not be of much help. Nothing else. The giant bamboo's words made the Sky Bamboo powerhouse mutter in his heart. Bamboo Moon had it, and it was even more powerful than his. Why didn't the giant bamboo say it? Why did he have to be on guard? Why not? At this moment, a sneer came from outside. "Isn't Bamboo Moon one? Why didn't he say it? Is he still on guard against Lord Zhu Yao?" Exclamation point. The Sky Bamboo powerhouse's expression changed drastically. It was the only Tsangtian physique in the clan, the Bamboo sect. Zhu Qingjiao had returned and even stabbed them in the back. What? Zhu Yao's gaze turned cold. The Sky Bamboo bloodline has always been dominated by the Celestials. The Bamboo sect's talent is not bad, but they were kicked out of the clan. How ridiculous! The Sky Bamboo powerhouse trembled violently. Her words were calm, but her anger shook the Sky Bamboo powerhouse until blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. He fell to the ground. The bamboo sect laughed, feeling elated. He did not expect to bump into Zhu Yao. Now that he had openly returned to the clan, who would dare to do anything to him? Zhu Yao, don't talk nonsense. The Sky Bamboo's patriarch glared at her. After all, the primogenitor's bamboo was still here. Her words were a little too much. Get up. Zhu Lihui waved his hand and looked at the giant bamboo again. He said calmly, according to seniority, I should call you patriarch. Our clan is now in danger. Outsiders don't know about the primogenitor's death, but he hasn't shown himself for a long time. Some of the enemy clans are already stirring and will definitely threaten our clan in the future. No matter what, we must go to the place where the primogenitor fell. Perhaps the primogenitor is still alive and has not fallen. Zhu Lihui said, If there are more outstanding disciples, I hope you can let them leave with me. The giant bamboo was silent. Zhu Yao could not wait any longer. She frowned and scolded. Is the main clan of the Sky Bamboo lineage inferior to a damaged Qianhuang universe? What can they do here? Impudent! The giant bamboo was furious. It was the primogenitor's disciple, a supreme existence of the immortal Tao. In the past, no one dared to be disrespectful to it. Not even the Sky Bamboo lineage's Overlord Supreme dared to be disrespectful to it, let alone Zhu Yao. Patriarch, although Zhu Yao's words are unpleasant, they are not without reason. Zhu Lihui said, Besides, the primogenitor might still be alive, but we cannot determine the spatial coordinates of his final disappearance. Therefore, we must let the most outstanding disciple who gave birth to the primogenitor's Dharma idol search for him. Boom! Suddenly, divine light burst out from a certain sealed land in Sky Bamboo Mountain. Bamboo Moon, who had been silent for several years, made a breakthrough. Her life essence had finished evolving, giving birth to imperishable substance. The process was very fast. Piece after piece of imperishable substance rushed out of her body and spread into the long river of time and space. It outlined an ancient sky bamboo that filled the sea of stars. Its aura was grand and ancient. Zhu Lihui's expression changed. He was shocked. The sky bamboo Dharma idol seethed with supreme fluctuations, as if the deceased primogenitor had come back to life. It towered above the heavens, filled with a strong prehistoric fluctuation. How is this possible? Zhu Yao clenched her fists and tried to restrain herself. Because the moment Bamboo Moon came back to life, she had a feeling of submitting to Bamboo Moon. It was as if the identity imprinted in her bones and blood was crushing her, making it difficult for Zhu Yao to breathe. She let out a low roar and forcibly shattered this crushing feeling that originated from the soul. Her aura was domineering. A sinister look flashed in Zhu Yao's eyes. After waiting bitterly for several years and doing everything possible to bring back to the clan, it was a future master? This was ridiculous. Chapter 1386. The giant bamboo laughed excitedly. Bamboo Moon's Dharma form reminded it of the primogenitor of the undying heavenly domain. Although Bamboo Moon's Sky Bamboo Dharma form only contained a little divine power, it had the urge to kneel down and worship the primogenitor. It had to be said that Bamboo Moon's Dharma form was too powerful. Her future was immeasurable. She had a little bit of the primogenitor's demeanor, and she would definitely achieve great things in the future. The legend is true. Zhu Lihui's expression changed. The primogenitor had fallen 1,000,000 years ago, but the legend still existed. It was said that once an outstanding disciple was born, they would be able to communicate with the primogenitor and receive great help. Bamboo Moon was an example. Although the primogenitor had fallen, the legend still existed. The Tao and Dharma form were also hidden in the primogenitor's Dharma form. As Bamboo Moon's cultivation improved, sooner or later, she would become an expert among experts. Once Bamboo Moon was brought back to the family, The sky bamboo lineage would probably give birth to a peerless genius. It wouldn't take many years for her to shake the major immortal sex. After all, they could see that Bamboo Moon had relied on herself to open the immortality road. Moreover, she had evolved the primogenitor's Dharma form to such a level. She was comparable to the peerless geniuses in the history of the family. I finally succeeded. Bamboo Moon opened her eyes. She was like a real fairy from ancient times. She had a kind of elegant beauty, dignified and beautiful, holy and otherworldly. She was very happy and wanted to share her joy. Thinking of Su Yen and Hokuto, Bamboo Moon's thoughts flew. She didn't know what was going on outside. If Su Yen saw her now, he would definitely be shocked. She had reached the immortality realm. She was comparable to the ancestral hall master, the overlord of the ceiling heaven region. Thinking of this, Bamboo Moon smiled. Maybe my cultivation has surpassed Su Yen, this woman. Zhu Lihui began to exclaim in admiration. Not only was her innate talent unparalleled, but she was also born with a peerless appearance and a convenient temperament. It seemed that in the future, their sky bamboo lineage would be famous far and wide because of Bamboo Moon. She actually broke through too. Zhu Qingjiao's face was ferocious and his eyes were filled with jealousy. How could Bamboo Moon cultivate to this stage? He had become the 11th immortal in the black-yellow universe. He had almost gone mad. When he had met Bamboo Moon, he had thought that his fate would take a heaven-defying turn. However, if Bamboo Moon returned to the Sky Bamboo bloodline in such a state, wouldn't she become the leader of the Sky Bamboo bloodline? When that happened, his situation would become even more dangerous. You! The bone-piercing killing intent woke up Bamboo Moon. Her bright eyes saw Zhu Qingjiao and her expression turned cold. Bamboo Moon was like an otherworldly fairy. Her long black hair hung down to her waist. She looked dignified and holy, but at this moment her aura was biting cold. What? He even wanted to use force against him? Don't you think I'm a big deal? Zhu Yao shouted coldly. Her voice was like thunder from the 9th heaven, exploding in Bamboo Moon's ears. It shook her so much that her breath became unstable. She felt like she was about to fall from the sky. However, in an instant, the sky bamboo appeared to protect Bamboo Moon. Waves of clear light sprinkled down, isolating Bamboo Moon from being intimidated by Zhu Yao. What? Zhu Lihui's expression changed. He couldn't sit still. Once the sky bamboo Dharma form was cultivated, it was just like the legend. It was invulnerable to all technique. Even if one was at a higher realm, it would be extremely difficult to suppress it. Although Zhu Yao had only shouted softly and didn't use much of her combat strength, who was she? She was an expert at the peak of the immortal realm. She had already begun to integrate her soul into her immortal path. How could she not be able to suppress Bamboo Moon, who had just entered the immortal realm? However, it was obvious that Zhu Yao had failed. She couldn't maintain her composure. Who are you? Bamboo Moon's snow-white cheeks also changed slightly. Her gaze fell on Zhu Yao. She sensed an extremely terrifying energy fluctuation. How strong was this existence? Since when did the mysterious yellow universe have such a proud daughter of heaven? Come here, Zhu Yao said with a sullen face. Her eyes flashed with a malicious look. Bamboo Moon frowned slightly. She looked at the sky bamboo almighty. He smiled bitterly. It seemed that even if Bamboo Moon really entered the main clan of the sky bamboo branch, she wouldn't be safe. Bamboo Moon, Su Yen is dead, Zhu Qingjiao suddenly said. Bamboo Moon's slender body stiffened. Her beautiful hair that fell to her waist danced without wind. Her starry eyes trembled slightly. Her delicate snow-white cheeks were also completely frozen. This sentence had a huge impact on her. Su Yen was dead? Her breathing quickened as she looked at the almighty heavenly bamboo and the others. She saw that they were silent and didn't say anything. Zhu Yu's heart trembled violently. The sky seemed to have darkened, and Zhu Yu found it hard to breathe. What are you talking about? She almost screamed. She had lost her mind. Her eyes were red. Su Yan was dead? How dare you? Zhu Yao scolded angrily. How dare you? I asked you to come over again. Why are you so indifferent? What's the big deal about Su Yan? If he's dead, then he's dead. What's there to fuss about? Bamboo Moon's eyes flashed with a cold light. Her entire body was blazing. The Sky Bamboo Almighty appeared behind her. An infinitely powerful storm was about to descend. What? You want to use force against me? Zhu Yao sneered. You're not strong enough to deal with me. So, Bamboo Moon wanted to rush out of the clan but was stopped by Zhu Lihui. He smiled bitterly and said, You can't go out. The Xianhuang universe is of great importance. The Xian people also have people guarding it. Once the Xian people find out about your existence, it will be difficult for you to show your face in the immortal heavenly domain. What the hell happened? Bamboo Moon was about to go crazy. She asked Zhu Yuanqing and the others. Everyone knew that there was no way to hide it. With the relationship between Bamboo Moon and Su Yan, it was impossible to hide it. Bamboo Moon soon learned about everything. She was filled with anger and anger. She shouted, Get out of my way. I don't believe he's dead. Get out of my way. Zhu Lihui's face darkened. It seemed like her relationship with this Su Yan was not simple. Look at her. She has no manners at all. How dare she yell at the old ancestor? What a disgrace. Zhu Yao walked forward and said, Old ancestor, this matter is of great importance. She's so hostile to the Xian people. If we don't handle it well, I'm afraid it will bring disaster to the clan. She's obviously a jinx. Who knows, she might even drag us down. I think we should bring Bamboo Moon back to the clan and comfort her first. Zhu Lihui only wanted to leave. He could not stay here any longer. Zhu Yao's body glowed. A powerful sealing power surged out and sealed the spacetime. She wanted to have a top-secret conversation. What are you trying to say? Zhu Lihui was stunned. Old ancestor. Zhu Yao was even calmer. She said, The strongest in the younger generation of our clan, Zhu Songhua. Why can't there be a second? What are you trying to say? Zhu Lihui was shocked. He glared at Zhu Yao. You know the secret of his breakthrough? Zhu Songhua was the strongest in the younger generation of the Sky Bamboo lineage. He was also the supreme overlord of the immortal orthodoxy. He didn't break through on his own. Instead, he obtained some essence left behind by the progenitor and cultivated the progenitor's image in his firmament physique. But this was a top secret of the clan. How did Zhu Yao know? It's not convenient for me to say how I found out. Zhu Yao looked at Bamboo Moon and said coldly, The supreme overlord of our clan broke through because of the progenitor's item. Actually, Zhu Songhua has already located the progenitor's place of death, but he can't pinpoint it accurately. You know that Bamboo Moon isn't of much help to our clan. The only one who can help us is the progenitor's disciple. He doesn't have much time left. This mission can be declared a failure. What are you trying to say? Zhu Lihui's expression changed. She couldn't be harboring evil intentions, could she? Zhu Songhua broke through to the immortal realm with the help of the progenitor's item and became the supreme overlord. Zhu Yao said coldly, I think I'm better than him. If I can cultivate the Sky Bamboo image in my firmament physique, I'll definitely go further than him in the future. You're ambitious. Zhu Lihui's expression changed. Zhu Yao knelt on one knee and said seriously to Zhu Lihui, If the patriarch helps me succeed, I'll have a chance to become a supreme in the future. Zhu Lihui's heart trembled. This was a serious matter. He wouldn't make a hasty decision. If the clan found out about this, it would be disastrous. Although the Sky Bamboo lineage was revered by the Sky Clan, the Sky Bamboo progenitor was still the most glorious symbol of the clan. Su Yan, where are you? I don't believe you're dead. I miss you so much. Bamboo Moon was terrified. She felt that Zhu Lihui and Zhu Yao were looking at her strangely. She thought that her breakthrough was a great thing. However, the consecutive bad news made Bamboo Moon feel terrible. In the boundless darkness, black fog rolled and raged. The more life force it devoured, the stronger the dark matter became. The darkness seemed to have a mind of its own as it continued to expand. It covered a boundless territory, and there was no life in the surrounding hundreds of millions of miles. In the land of darkness, the immortal mountain stood tall. After several years, the immortal mountain gradually began to collapse. A cold body was also covered by the rubble. After an unknown amount of time, the rubble on the ground started to shake faintly. When the remaining life force of the great Tao immortal mountain dissipated completely, the mountain collapsed. The rubble on the ground quickly turned to ashes. In the midst of it, a cold body was revealed. It was tattered many years ago, but now it was intact. If one looked closely, one could see that there was a huge amount of divine power stored in his body. The body-nurturing art stole the fortune of heaven and earth. It was related to the heaven-stealing art. Now, Su Yan's body was psychic and revived. The body-nurturing art automatically bloomed, stealing the fortune of heaven and earth, and even extracting all the energy in the great Tao immortal mountain. As a result, his physical body became stronger and stronger. His vitality was endless, and his dried qi and blood were abundant. Soon it was released. It was hard to imagine how exuberant and outrageous it was. After all, he had stolen all the energy of the great Tao celestial mountain. Su Yan was like a huge oven, spewing out the essence of heaven and earth. His surging aura forcibly suppressed the darkness and made it tremble. This was darkness, and it was extremely difficult to resist. Although Su Yan's body was eroded, the demonic fog could no longer hurt Su Yan. On the contrary, the long-term use of the body-nurturing art to steal energy caused his life force to become too strong. It contained an endless amount of immortal essence. Once it exploded, it would shock heaven and earth. Time flew. He did not know how much time had passed. The cold body that had been silent for several years suddenly got up. He was a little confused. He looked around and then looked at his hand. He did not know who he was or why he was here. My heart hurts. He suddenly touched his heart. He felt pain in his heart, as if he had lost something very important. It was also because of this pain that he woke up from his deep sleep. Chapter 1387. He was at a loss, unable to remember who he was. He had forgotten everything, and all his memories were blank. He had no idea who he was. However, his heart was in pain, and he felt that something big had happened. Subconsciously, he wanted to leave this place and look for a place that made his heart ache. Hong! In an instant, he was revived, and he was extremely powerful. After all, the energy in Su Yan's body was surging, and he could easily tear apart the sky and split the sea. Even this vast devil mist could hardly suppress Su Yan. The place exploded and the darkness collapsed. A terrifying figure walked out, and the fluctuations he emitted caused the darkness to tremble. His body was slender, and his long black hair was draped over his shoulders. He was wearing blood-stained battle clothes as he walked in the darkness. What is this? Why do I feel so disgusted? He casually grabbed a lump of dark mist. He was disgusted by this material, but why was he disgusted? He did not know. In short, he did not like the environment here, and wanted to destroy it. Just like that, for a period of time, the vast expanse of dark matter continued to collapse and shatter. This also gave rise to a terrifying commotion. Waves of loud sounds exploded in the space-time, and even transmitted to distant regions. What's the commotion? In an area far, far away from the darkness there were some living beings, some cultivators, and some experts. They were all staring at the source of darkness with fear and trepidation. Look, what's that? They vaguely caught a glimpse of rolling waves in the depths of the darkness. One after another, tens of thousands of waves rushed out, shaking heaven and earth, and causing the distant universe world to tremble. Is the darkness rioting? Many people were alarmed. Rolling dark storms rolled out from the depths of the darkness. Even though they didn't know what the reason was, the scene of tens of millions of waves of darkness was truly a ghastly sight. The crowd was all trembling, feeling as if every single wave could smash them all to pieces. Go to the Milky Way galaxy and inform the Immortal Realm experts to come and take charge. Someone cried out in alarm, and hurriedly ordered the followers beside him. If the darkness was rioting, the entire Xian Huang universe might suffer a great calamity. However, those who knew the inside story side, the undying experts all left, following a mysterious path to the undying heavenly region. They wanted to find a way to deal with the devil mist in the outside world. According to East Demon's estimation, it would take at least 10 to 20 years for the devil fog to cover the entire black-yellow universe. Instead of staying here and waiting for death, it was better to go out and take a look. Perhaps there really was a solution. In the land of darkness, a storm was raging. All of this was caused by a person who had forgotten who he was. However, he discovered that these substances were extremely difficult to completely destroy. This made his pupils blossom with sword radiance, tearing apart a great space-time crack. He wanted to get out. Although he didn't know why, he had the feeling that something big was waiting for him. He had to get out as soon as possible. Oh my God, look! Countless people trembled. They saw an extremely deep crack that stretched out horizontally, opening up a path in the darkness. In the blink of an eye, they saw a figure dressed in blood-stained battle robes walking out of the rift step by step. He didn't seem to be moving very quickly, but with each step, he crossed an entire star field. Such terrifying speed and intimidating aura made the crowd tremble and gasp for breath. Is this an evil demon born from the darkness? They thought so. After all, in their understanding, the darkness was too terrifying. Even the human emperor couldn't survive, and the 9 immortal experts couldn't do anything about it. Then, who could contend against the power of darkness? But now, a relatively abnormal person had appeared. He had torn apart the darkness and rushed out. Some people felt that this was an evil demon born from the darkness, and some people felt that this was a human powerhouse. His aura was greatly different from the darkness. Why do I feel that his back is very similar to the human emperor's? Some people murmured, their thoughts almost frozen. Almost 4 years had passed. People wouldn't forget Su Yan. Even if it was 40 years, 400 years, or 4,000 years, they still wouldn't forget that person. But now, many people stared at that back. They felt that this person was somewhat similar to Su Yan. They discussed with each other, their scalps almost exploding. Could it be that the human emperor was still alive? He was still alive? And now, he had even stepped out of the land of darkness. This region was in an uproar. It didn't even matter if he was Su Yan or not. Since he was a human cultivator, he might have the strength to solve the problem of the darkness. A figure traversed through the myriad of realms. Very few people could catch his track. Some old cultivators vaguely saw him, but no one could be sure who that person was. Boom! When he arrived in the outside world and stood in the boundless starry sky, Su Yan's eyes blazed. He looked in all directions, taking in this vast and endless starry sky world. Suddenly, he waved his large hand, pushing one star domain after another. More than a dozen star domains shone, rumbling. The movements were extremely great. In the process of moving, they even began to combine together, forming a giant territory. He was shocked and seriously pondered. Then, he looked in all directions. He felt that the universe was very broken. He wanted to repair it. It seemed that this had always been his wish. Did I forget something? His cultivation was too profound after all. He was exploring his memories, trying to find memories that he had forgotten. The world was both strange and familiar to him. He walked far away step by step, trying to find a familiar world environment and figure out who he was. At this time, his deep eyes gazed through the starry sky. he saw an extremely familiar statue in a flourishing star domain. He was shocked. This statue seemed to be exactly the same as him? He flew over in almost the blink of an eye. He stood in a city and stared at this enormous stone statue. The stone statue was extremely grand, almost reaching into the clouds. It looked extremely majestic, towering in the center of the city as if it was patrolling the heavens, overlooking all directions. It even carried a stone sword core. This is me. He was a bit at a loss. He stared at the stone statue, and even stared at a nearby giant stone tablet. There were many characters carved on it. He could recognize the contents of these characters with a single glance. A person named Su Yen, his growth history, his glorious battle achievements, his immortal achievements, an expert who had grown for 100 years, unrivaled under the heavens, never suffering any defeats. It was extremely glorious, extremely astonishing. The people of the world prostrated themselves in worship, offering him incense day and night. He stared at the great events that had once shaken the universe. They were extremely familiar, as if they were his doing. All of this was related to him. Su Yen. His fists clenched tightly, and his expression was somewhat sinister. He did his best to search, but fragmented memory fragments still surged out from his originally blank memories. They disturbed him so much that he had no choice but to roar loudly, shaking the entire ancient city. Who dares to behave so atrociously in human Emperor City? There were many residents in the city. This city was originally called Great Tao City, and it could be said that this was where Su Yen rose to power. The people called it Human Emperor City. A large group of experts rushed over, wanting to capture the man in blood-colored battle clothes. However, as soon as this group of people approached, they all became paralyzed and crawled on the ground, trembling. The person in front of them was too terrifying. The aura that gushed out from his pores was extremely unbearable. Human Emperor? When someone saw this person's appearance, his expression was greatly shaken, and his scalp almost exploded. The dead human emperor had appeared? Could it be that I am Su Yen? His figure rose into the air and disappeared from this city, leaving behind a scene of great chaos. The entire city was trembling, and many people were shouting. They had just seen the human emperor, someone who was almost identical to Su Yen. However, that person had flown away, and it was difficult for them to verify. After all, Su Yen, who had been dead for almost 4 years, suddenly appeared before the eyes of the world. Wasn't this too shocking? Am I called Su Yen? He was in great pain as he flew into outer space. Because he was worried that he would destroy the entire city, his aura was released uncontrollably, causing a great disturbance in the chaotic ruins. His aura was too terrifying, even more frightening than that of the human emperor at his peak. At this time, he was astonished. His powerful divine will had probed a somewhat powerful life form. In his eyes, the creatures of this world were too weak. Now that he had discovered a powerful life form, he immediately crossed over. In almost the blink of an eye, Su Yen had broken into the Tao Palace. Who is it? The entire Tao Palace was shaken. Vice Dean Jin Yu rushed out directly, holding the Hall Master's killing sword. He was like a roaring golden lion. Someone had broken into the Tao Palace. Moreover, the person who had broken in was too fast. Any great killing formation was useless in front of Su Yen. He didn't even need to break the formation and directly barged in. Although he had forgotten everything, he could instinctively use the secret techniques he had learned before. Who is the enemy? He has broken into the forbidden area of the Tao Palace. The entire Tao Palace was in an uproar. Almighty Kong Bo ordered, "The enemy is unfathomable. Unless absolutely necessary, do not use force." Now that Almighty Kong Bo was the Hall Master of the Tao Palace, he was also flustered. He rushed into the forbidden area of the Tao Palace almost instantly, rushing into the purple-robed woman's former training ground. He rushed into the purple bamboo forest, feeling that this place was particularly familiar. Soon, he followed a path and entered a unique universe. The ground was filled with sparkling and translucent soil, full of vitality. This soil was very special. It was like sparkling and translucent sand, brilliant and lively. It had accumulated here for a long time. The scene here was even more familiar. He felt that he had been here before. He rushed in directly, hoping that it would help him recover his memories. Soon, Su Yen came to the depths of the mysterious Pure Land. He reached out and pulled out a snow-white hand from the soil. With a gentle pull, a body overflowing with spirit chi was pulled out of the soil. The woman was awakened and opened her big eyes. Su Yen. She spoke, her voice a little confused. Subconsciously, she wondered why she knew his name. It seemed that she had forgotten many things. Who are you? Do you know me? He looked at the purple-robed woman and asked nervously, Am I Su Yen? I don't seem to remember. The purple-robed woman shook her head gently, frowning as she stared at Su Yen. The two confused people stood together, looking at each other. Brother, you have come from afar. I didn't go out to greet you. May I know if you have any business in the Tao Palace? It was also at this time that Uncle Kong and Deputy Dean Jean Yu rushed into this area. They spoke kindly and didn't show any hostility. After all, the Tao Palace didn't have an undying being in charge, and they couldn't afford to offend the powerhouses of this realm. Chapter 1388. Uncle Kong and Deputy Dean Jean Yu, the two powerhouses of the Tao Palace, were full of smiles and looked very enthusiastic. However, when they came to the depths of the ancient land and saw a man and a woman, they were completely petrified. Uncle Kong stretched out his hand and pointed at Su Yen. His mouth was trembling, and his eyes were full of disbelief. Soon, his expression was ecstatic, and he let out a beast-like roar. Temple Master! Deputy Dean Jean Yu was also shocked. His eyes widened as he stared at the woman in purple. They knew that Zixia Fairy was the Temple Master's clone. If the Temple Master died, Zixia Fairy must have died as well. But what did they see now? They saw a person who looked exactly like the Temple Master. However, the woman in purple now had a head of glossy black hair, not snow white. Was the Temple Master still alive? She survived as Zixia Fairy? Is he a human or a ghost? Uncle Kong held back for a long time and finally squeezed out a sentence. He let out a hysterical roar and his eyes were red with tears. He roared, Is he a human or a ghost? Is he Su Yen? Su Yen. Deputy Dean Jean Yu trembled. Looking at the man in blood-stained battle clothes, he lost control of his emotions. He was Su Yen. He was still alive. Su Yen looked at Uncle Kong and Deputy Dean Jean Yu with blank eyes. These two were very familiar to him, but he couldn't remember where he had seen them. Don't you recognize me? Uncle Kong was stunned. He quickly walked over and said, I'm your senior brother. I'm Kong Bai. Don't you recognize me? Su Yen. Deputy Dean Jean Yu was shocked. He said, How did he survive? How long has it been since he came out of the dark space? Why didn't we receive any news beforehand? Su Yen frowned. He couldn't remember. Zixia Fairy also frowned. She couldn't remember much, but she could see that the powerhouses of the Tao Palace, who came in from the outside world, were very excited. Some of them even knelt in front of the woman in purple, so excited that they cried. The human sovereign is still alive? The Hall Master was also alive? Pinch me. Am I dreaming? Vice President Shangli really felt that she was dreaming. She had completely lost control of her emotions. If these things were to spread out, who would dare to believe it? I've forgotten many things. He was responding. These people did not have any ill intentions, and they were even shouting excitedly when they saw him. He must have known them before. He was also very vexed. Why did he forget? In fact, his previous self seemed to have died but survived. How could this be? His primordial spirit is incomparably powerful, able to contend against immortal Tao experts. Why would he lose his memories? Uncle Kong was suspicious. This person was definitely Su Yan. They definitely couldn't be mistaken. Moreover, there were so many powerful cultivators in this world. Aside from the fallen Su Yan, who else possessed such powerful battle prowess? Although Su Yan's aura was currently restrained, the faintly discernible fluctuations that he emitted caused Vice Dean Jin Yu, who had the highest cultivation here, to be unable to withstand it. He felt that Su Yan was like a burning furnace that could burn the universe. It was too astonishing. Not only did he not die, but his cultivation had also skyrocketed. It was extremely amazing. And the woman in purple. They felt that she was Fairy Zixia, not the ill-fated hall master of the Tao Temple. More importantly, Fairy Zixia's strength had also stepped into the immortal realm. Where had Fairy Zixia been all these years? Why had her strength suddenly stepped into the immortal realm? In the following days, Su Yan lived in the Tao Temple. As for why the Tao Temple did not leak any information about Su Yan, it was mainly because they were worried that the Xian people in the outer realm were watching the bound yellow universe. Once the news that Su Yan was still alive spread, it would most likely provoke the Xian people to go crazy. Uncle Kong told Su Yan many things and asked him to recall something. Unfortunately, Su Yan could not remember anything. And has left the land of sadness. If only she were here. Vice President Shang Li sighed inwardly. Tai Baokai and the others had left. It was said that they could go to the immortal celestial domain through a mysterious ancient road. Unfortunately, this road could not carry too many people. The number of people who could take it was limited. Liang Yan was among them, and Kong Xian of the Tao Temple had left as well. Report, Zhu Yuanqing of the Sky Bamboo Branch requests an audience. The voice from outside made Uncle Kong angry. No? Why do you want to see him? In the past, Zhu Yuanqing had made things difficult for Su Yan. This matter was still widely known, and many people did not like him. Wait! Vice President Jin Yu waved his hand and said in a low voice, something's wrong. Zhu Yuanqing has not cared about worldly affairs for many years. What is he doing here? Something is wrong. The Sky Bamboo Branch has been very strange these days. Quickly let him in and find out the ins and outs of the matter. That's true. After all, the Sky Bamboo Branch and Su Yan have a different relationship. Uncle Kong thought about it and nodded. For the past half a year, the Sky Bamboo Branch had been mysterious. No one knew what had happened, and there was no news from their clan. Zhu Yuanqing used to be the great elder of the Sky Bamboo Branch. He had a high position and power. In the past few decades, his cultivation had not improved at all. Instead, he had become older. Greetings, Temple Master of the Tao Temple and Vice President Jin Yu. Zhu Yuanqing was depressed, and his voice was weak. Elder Yuanqing, why did you come all the way here? Why did you come to the Tao Temple? Uncle Kong frowned. Hearing this, Zhu Yuanqing hesitated for a moment, then gritted his teeth and said, Recently, I heard that Su Yan has been resurrected. I wanted to come to the Tao Temple to confirm it. Uncle Kong smiled. To confirm the life and death of the Renhuang, you should go to the Milky Way. Why did you come to our Tao Temple? Su Yan is not a powerhouse of our Tao Temple. Zhu Yuanqing smiled bitterly. He was too ashamed to go to the Milky Way, so he could only come to the Tao Temple. He also understood that Su Yan had spared him back then because of the Sky Bamboo powerhouses and Bamboo Moon. Immediately, Zhu Yuanqing's expression changed. He looked at Uncle Kong and said, The Tao Temple is full of joy. Could it be that the Renhuang has really come back from the dead? What does that have to do with anything? Uncle Kong responded coldly. Zhu Yuanqing lost control of his emotions and said, If the Renhuang is still alive, ask him to come to the Sky Bamboo Branch. If he doesn't come, I'm afraid that he won't even be able to see Bamboo Moon. What did you say? Uncle Kang's expression changed drastically. How could he not know the relationship between Bamboo Moon and Su Yen? However, in the current state of the universe, who would dare to kill Bamboo Moon? Did they have a death wish? Suddenly, a pair of eyes pierced through the world and stared at Zhu Yuanqing. Zhu Yuanqing fell to the ground with a thud. Then, he stared at a man standing in the distance with trembling eyes. Su Yen. Zhu Yuanqing was ecstatic. He was really still alive. Su Yen arrived in front of him in an instant and said in a low voice, "Bamboo Moon? What happened?" His memories were stinging, so much so that it could even be said that his heart ached. This name was especially important to him. Suddenly, he seemed to recall some things. Although they were fragmented memories, there was still a peerless beauty imprinted in his blank memory. Bamboo Moon has met with a calamity. Su Yen must hurry over. If he's late, I'm afraid that he won't even be able to see her, Zhu Yuanqing said painfully. His eyes were red and his heart was filled with guilt. Perhaps if they hadn't stopped them back then, Su Yen and Bamboo Moon would have been together a long time ago. Boom! Su Yen released his aura and tore through the sky. A bolt of lightning surged through the void. He had gone berserk as he recalled some fragmented memories. His long black hair danced in the wind and his entire being was suffused with a terrifying aura. "Lead the way," Su Yen shouted coldly. Zhu Yuanqing led Su Yen and flew away. Uncle Kong and the others followed closely behind. They felt that Su Yen's memories would come back sooner or later. Now that Bamboo Moon had appeared, it stimulated Su Yen to return to his past self. Soon, they arrived at the Sky Bamboo branch. "What's wrong with this branch? What happened? Why isn't there any news?" Deputy Dean Jean Yu's expression was ugly. The entire Sky Bamboo branch was filled with sorrow. Where were the Sky Bamboo powerhouses? They also saw a few powerhouses. They looked old and depressed, as if they had gone through a great change in their lives. "I think I saw the human sovereign Russian just now. Did I see wrongly?" "No, it's really him. He's back," some of the members discussed. These young people used to be full of vigor. Although the Xianwang universe had gone through a catastrophe, it had never threatened the Sky Bamboo branch. However, these young people were all depressed. Men, women, old and young alike. Zhu Yuanqing's face was filled with bitterness. Their branch had gone through a great change. The Sky Bamboo powerhouses had left, Sky Bamboo Mountain had collapsed, and the Azure Celestial Bamboo Steppe sect had betrayed their branch. In short, half a year ago, the branch had gone through a terrible experience. It was only now that Zhu Yuanqing heard that the human sovereign was suspected to be alive that he decided to leave the branch. Boom! A loud sound exploded from the Sky Bamboo branch's ancestral land. The sound was so loud that it was deafening. Many people could not stand still. This was a hall. The door was blown open. The seal could not stop Su Yen. "Human sovereign, please stay." The guards at the entrance of the hall knelt down. They did not intend to stop Su Yen, but the woman inside did not want to let Su Yen in. They were also sad. The beauty was past her prime, and they did not want Su Yen to see her like this. The group of guards howled in pain. What could they change? He had suddenly returned. What could they change? "Get up, all of you!" He glared at them angrily. With a flick of his sleeve, he sent them flying. He barged into the hall and saw an old figure. He looked as if he had been struck by lightning. He extended his hand and pointed at her with a trembling finger. His eyes were also widened in anger. Bamboo Moon was terrified. It was really him. He was still alive, however. She had lost her beauty, youth, and vitality. She was depressed. Before she died, she wanted to pay her respects to Su Yen. However, she did not want to go there with her current appearance. She was no longer the Big Dipper fairy of the past. She did not want Su Yen to see her like this. She was so old that she could barely stand. She was filled with grief and indignation, but she was powerless to change the situation. Su Yen, you're really. Bamboo Moon extended her hand. She wanted to touch his face. However, she retracted her hand with a trembling hand. She covered her face and wept in grief and indignation. Her weeping voice was like a series of thunderclaps exploding in Su Yan's sea of consciousness. Many fragmented memories were reorganized. He remembered. He remembered everything. His heart ached terribly. What happened? Who dared to attack me? Who did it? Su Yen roared in grief and indignation. His entire body was blazing with a heaven-shaking divine might. His might suppressed the universe and swept across the world. What's wrong? Uncle Kong and the others were shocked. What had happened to hurt Su Yen? All of them could feel the boiling anger being released. A monstrous killing intent was awakening. Su Yan's black hair danced wildly. The killing intent he released pierced through the heavens. It was as if it wanted to collapse the 9 heavens. He walked solemnly toward Bamboo Moon. He walked toward this woman who did not dare to face him. Bamboo Moon, what's wrong? Su Yan's heart ached. His eyes were red. Who hurt her like this? Who? Bamboo Moon was silent. She did not want to speak. She did not dare to face Su Yan either. Backtrack. Su Yan's eyes were vertical. They were like heavenly swords that streaked across the sky. A pair of large hands moved the universe's spacetime. Moreover, with his peerless combat strength, he forcefully pushed this spacetime to backtrack. With his dermic powers and his understanding of the universe, Su Yen could do it. The terrifying power of time filled the air. Su Yen endured the pressure of time and traced back to the past. He traced back to what had happened to the heavenly bamboo lineage. In the end, Su Yen saw some images. He saw a vicious woman suppressing Bamboo Moon. She used some special secret method to extract the heavenly bamboo dharma characteristic seed in her body. Bamboo Moon also aged instantly. Her hair was snow-white, and her vitality was greatly damaged. Bamboo Moon muttered in pain. In the end she called out for Su Yen. Even now, she still could not believe that Su Yen had really died. She really wanted to see him. She really wanted to. The heavenly bamboo powerhouse kowtowed desperately. He kowtowed until his head was bleeding. He begged Zhu Yao to spare Bamboo Moon's life. He was willing to be Zhu Yao's slave. He only begged Zhu Yao to spare Bamboo Moon's life. You don't have to kill him. Leave him to me. Zhu Yao stared at the heavenly bamboo dharma characteristic seed with infatuation. She did not even look at Bamboo Moon. Leave him to me? The heavenly bamboo Qing Yao shook his head and said in disgust, This old woman is no longer the Bamboo Moon of the past. I have no interest in her at all. It's better to let her linger on, and let her know that this is the consequence of defying Lord Zhu Yao. Ha ha ha! In the backtracked space-time, crazy laughter echoed. It was Zhu Yao's demonic laughter. She had a vicious heart. She had stolen Bamboo Moon's heavenly bamboo dharma characteristic seed and wanted to plant it in her body. Then, in the future, she would be the overlord of the heavenly bamboo lineage. It's backtracking. Su Yen roared in grief and indignation. His heart felt like it was being twisted by a knife. Tears welled up in his eyes. He wanted to see it again. He wanted to remember it forever. He did not want to forget a single scene. However, the backtracking of space-time was too heavy a burden. Su Yen coughed up blood and fell to the ground. The scene at the back also shattered. However, one scene after another, Bamboo Moon's tragic experience was imprinted in the depths of Su Yan's soul. I don't care who it is. Even if it's the ends of the earth, I'll grind their bones to dust. Su Yan's eyes were bloodshot. He roared at the sky. The stars in the heavens trembled. The chaos ruins produced a sea of killing intent that split the entire sky. Chapter 1389. A terrifying aura filled the chaotic ruins and shook the entire world. Countless people were terrified. This was a cold and vast killing intent that shrouded the world, causing the limbs of all living beings in the universe to turn cold. They shivered and fell to the ground in droves. They found it hard to believe. What kind of existence was going crazy? It was even more frightening than the human emperor at his peak. Could it be that another expert from the outer realms had come to the Xianhuang universe? But why was there no sign at all? Look! Someone roared and pointed at a figure. His back was too similar to that of the fallen Renhuang, almost exactly the same. Could the legend be true? The human emperor is still alive. He's back. Ha ha ha, he's back. Countless people roared in excitement. Many people had tears in their eyes. The human emperor Su Yan was still alive. He was still alive. But what had angered the human emperor? Why was he emitting such a strong killing intent? His destination should be the sky bamboo lineage. Could it be that a major change had occurred there? Why was the human emperor going crazy? But no matter what, the entire world was in an uproar. The human emperor was still alive and had not fallen. Su Yan roared at the sky. His killing intent was like an ocean that drowned the entire spacetime. It surged with raging flames that wanted to burn down the entire world. Su Yan could not control Bamboo Moon's injury at all. His emotions exploded, and he was filled with grief and anger. His eyes surged with killing intent that could tear the sky apart. I hope the human emperor can seek justice for my clan. Zhu Yuanqing and the others knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Su Yan. Their hearts were filled with pain and hatred. Sky Bamboo Mountain had collapsed. The Sky Bamboo powerhouses had become Zhu Yao's slaves, and Bamboo Moon had suffered a calamity. Such a deep blood feud, but they were powerless. They were really powerless. Now that Su Yan had returned, they believed that Su Yan could definitely seek justice for their clan. Su Yan's eyes shone with the light of killing intent. This venomous woman, Zhu Yao, was fixed in his eyes. If he didn't kill her, he would never rest. In a world far, far away there was an extremely prosperous clan. This was the birthplace of the Sky Bamboo lineage, an immortal sect that could shake the entire undying heavenly domain. Even though their progenitor had fallen, the Sky Bamboo lineage didn't decline too much. In a certain luxurious hall, Zhu Yao, who was sitting cross-legged, suddenly opened her cold eyes. She furrowed her brows, feeling somewhat uneasy. Something was wrong, as if she was exposed to someone else's eyes. Her aura had also awakened, appearing extremely domineering. Although she was a woman with outstanding looks, her way of doing things had always been domineering. That shouldn't be the case. This is our clan's secret chamber. Who could possibly break in? A cold glint flashed in Zhu Yao's eyes. She quickly left the secret chamber and went to find Zhu Lihui. Zhu Lihui was the ancestor of the Sky Bamboo lineage. He was also a powerhouse who wielded real power. A few months ago, they had returned to the family and brought back the Sky Bamboo Almighty. However, the mission could only be declared a failure. Ancestor, how's the search for the herbs coming along? Zhu Yao was very concerned. Hearing this, Zhu Lihui calmly replied, "What needs to be refined is a Tier 9 medicinal pill. Although it's just a beginner Tier 9 Yuan golden pill, the ingredients required are too expensive. It's not easy to refine it successfully. Moreover, the Yuan golden pill's medicinal effects are astounding. It can transform a person's physical body and evolve a person's physique. This medicinal pill is too rare, and the herbs required are extremely difficult to find. It's not something that can be done overnight." Hearing this, Zhu Yao frowned and said, "Without the Yuan golden pill, I can't integrate the Sky Bamboo Dharma seed. I must speed up." Zhu Yao. Zhu Lihui was a little dissatisfied. The signs of the Emperor Road opening are becoming more frequent. The entrance to the Emperor Road has also flown out from the Xianhuang universe. I estimate that it won't take more than a year before the Emperor Road opens. Now we should focus on cultivation. Ancestor. Zhu Yao shook her head slightly and said, "You're wrong. The place where the progenitor fell is in the 10,000 tribe battlefield of the Emperor Road. If I don't succeed in integrating the seed, even if I find the progenitor's place, I won't be able to obtain any creation or opportunity. If, when the time comes, I succeed. Zhu Yao's aura involuntarily became noble. She said expectantly, I believe that I'll have a place in the top 10. As for you, you may obtain the supreme essence treasure left behind by the progenitor. There's hope for you to become a supreme being. Zhu Lihui's eyes were burning. What was a progenitor? A bamboo could be said to be a supreme treasure. If he could obtain the energy essence, Zhu Lihui was confident that his cultivation would progress further. I'll do my best. Zhu Lihui closed his eyes and said, let's go back and cultivate first. I hope that the super auction in a few years won't disappoint us. When time and space returned to the Xian Huang universe, the human sovereign's murderous intent roared violently. The old powerhouse of the Xian people who stayed behind looked gloomy and frowned. This energy fluctuation? It's quite powerful. What are the immortals of the Xian Huang universe doing? With Xian Yugong's cultivation realm, he couldn't see the changes in the Xian Huang universe, but he caught the powerful energy roaring. Xian Yugong quickly calmed down and thought to himself, the problem of the devil fog is getting worse. I can go back and report in a few years. As for the powerhouses of the Xian Huang universe, none of them can come out. They will all die. Xian Yugong's task was not only to observe the changes in the dark matter, but also to guard the outer space to prevent any creatures of the Xian Huang universe from escaping. Of course, even if they escaped, this vast world of nothingness was not something they could break out of. Now, the chaos ruins were raging like the sea. The human sovereign's murderous intent was too shocking. It was cold and piercing. Su Yan, don't be like this, Bamboo Moon cried in grief. She didn't want to see Su Yan like this. She was old. Her face was full of wrinkles, and her hair was snow white. She didn't have much time left. Bamboo Moon was satisfied to be able to see Su Yan before she died. However, the murderous intent in the sky continued to surge. Su Yan's aura was difficult to calm down. Things have already come to this. Don't be sad anymore. You have to live on. Her life force was getting weaker. Seeing Su Yan like this, Bamboo Moon's mood was also very bad. However, she couldn't go back. She really couldn't go back. No, I won't let you leave me in the future. Su Yan's eyes widened in anger. His whole body shone and surged. The sea of immortal divine energy stored in his treasure body whizzed out. This was an extremely majestic and vast life tide. Along with the rich immortal energy, it began to swarm toward Bamboo Moon's weakened body. The endless divine energy surged and formed an immortal ocean. The scene was too magnificent and spectacular. Su Yan wanted to extend Bamboo Moon's life with his powerful life force. The vast divine energy kept washing Bamboo Moon's aging body. Zhu Yuanqing and the others thought that Bamboo Moon had a chance of surviving with such a terrifying method. However, who was Su Yan? Now that he was willing to pay any price, he could definitely help Bamboo Moon recover. However, they had underestimated Bamboo Moon's injuries. They allowed the life tide to be majestic and vast. They allowed Su Yan's life force to shock the world. At the moment when it was about to be stored in Bamboo Moon's withered source of life, her body was like a broken jar. It couldn't contain any essence, chi, or energy. Bamboo Moon had relied on herself to step into the immortal realm. However, the damage that Zhu Yao had left on her body was too great. Not only had she taken away the sky bamboo aspect seed, but she had even extracted her bodily functions so that Zhu Yao could fuse with the aspect seed more smoothly in the future. The loss of bodily functions was nothing much. However, taking away the aspect seed was equivalent to taking away Bamboo Moon's life and her path fruit. Hence, no matter how vast Su Yan's divine energy was, it would be difficult for him to change anything. How could Su Yan accept this? His origin chi was flowing in reverse. However, He waved his hand and drew in the energy of the Chaos Ruins mountains and rivers to nourish Bamboo Moon's frail body. This was an extremely crazy scene. The entire Sky Bamboo lineage was surging with divine energy. It was like a roaring ocean. This was a method to seize the world's creation. He was stealing the world's energy to prolong Bamboo Moon's life. That's great. Look. Someone noticed that Bamboo Moon's aging body had become younger. The wrinkles on her face had lessened significantly. She was becoming younger. Although the process was very slow, it gave them hope. Cough, cough, however, in the next moment, Su Yan's body swayed. He couldn't take it anymore and coughed up blood. His loss was too great. It was equivalent to him sacrificing his own life to prolong Bamboo Moon's life. Stop it. Stop it right now. Bamboo Moon cried bitterly. Don't continue. The universe still needs you. You can't lose so much because of me. I don't believe that I can't prolong your life. Su Yan's eyes widened in anger. He got up again and pushed the world's energy to wash Bamboo Moon's withered life force. Although the effect was very low, it was still effective. Now that you've become stronger, you're disobedient. Bamboo Moon's lips trembled as she sobbed. What's the point of doing this? Even if I can survive, how long can I live? Stop, Su Yan. No. Su Yan growled. If you can't even protect me, how can you protect the universe? You have to survive and see with your own eyes how you'll avenge me in the future. Su Yan pushed the immortal energy. He could not give up. Absolutely not. Su Yan. Bamboo Moon cried bitterly. Her eyes were filled with tears and her voice was already hoarse. She was becoming younger and even showed signs of returning to her golden years. Su Yan was a little old, but he was still terrifying and intimidating. Now that he was at his peak, there was nothing he could not do. Pfft. Suddenly, Bamboo Moon's body trembled violently. She coughed up blood and her eyes turned black. Her somewhat youthful self was aging. It was like a kind of fate that could not be violated, reversed, or rewritten. Vice President Shangli was shocked. Bamboo Moon was now equivalent to a mortal body. Her lifespan was nearing its end. This was fate that could not be violated or stopped. It was easier said than done to defy the heavens. Su Yan, give up. I'm already satisfied. Bamboo Moon smiled. She was still as dignified and beautiful as ever. You have to live and preserve your vitality so that you can avenge me in the future. Su Yan's steps were heavy. He walked step by step until he was in front of Bamboo Moon. He picked her up and looked at Bamboo Moon with a pair of gentle eyes. Bamboo Moon's face still carried a smile. She was enjoying the remaining time. Even though she knew it was very short, it was absolutely wonderful. She had no regrets. I won't let you leave me. Never. Suddenly, Su Yan spoke. His words woke Bamboo Moon up. She stared at Su Yan and said, What do you want to do? Can't you just spend your last bit of time peacefully? I want you to live forever. Forever. Not even the heavens can take away my life. Su Yan faced the sky and roared. His entire body shone. His two palms broke through the territory and soared into the sky. He looked especially terrifying. His entire body emitted a tyrannical aura. He wanted to defy the heavens. No matter how difficult the situation was, he would prolong Bamboo Moon's life. The entire chaotic ruins trembled violently. The vast and boundless territory rumbled. Everything rose and fell along with Su Yan. It was as if the ancient universe was blooming with endless vitality along with Su Yan. I want the heavens to grant me an eternal lifespan. Su Yan rebuilt the chaotic ruins. He wanted to defy the heavens and change Bamboo Moon's fate. Chapter 1390. A figure rose from the ground, holding a woman in his arms as he soared into the sky. Nothing could stop Su Yan. The faith he emitted was too terrifying. It affected the entire Xianwang universe, making it glow and heat up. Human Emperor, it's really the Human Emperor, he's still alive. Everyone in the world exclaimed, looking up at the figure that soared to the top of the sky. All living beings cheered. There was no news better than seeing Su Yan. In their minds, there was no predicament in this world that could stop the human emperor. As long as he was there, he could shelter the universe from the wind and rain. The human emperor was still there, and he was even more amazing than before. The ancient chaos ruins were rumbling with his aura. The radiance he emitted covered the entire chaos ruins. Loud explosions rang out one after another, reverberating throughout the ancient Xian Huang universe. The mountains and the earth were trembling, and the stars in the sky were rotating. It was a terrifying change. The broken chaos ruins, under the push of Su Yan's power, began to be rebuilt. Endless rivers and mountains were displaced, and everything was being reorganized under the push of Su Yan's power. This was a heaven-shaking method. Half of the universe was shining, blazing, and rolling, giving birth to an ancient and vast divine power that filled the entire mysterious yellow universe. Oh my God! Millions and millions of creatures were horrified, all of them erupting into chaos. The heaven and earth they resided in changed, becoming vast and boundless. The damaged world was reconstructed, essence energy becoming much richer. Even the great Tao was perfected, turning into a pure land. This was a complete corner of the world, directly driven by Su Yan. Su Yan had mastered the secret of the evolution of the mysterious yellow universe. Rebuilding the chaos ruins was nothing at all. In the future, he would rebuild the entire mysterious yellow universe. It is said that our universe was once the immortal heavenly domain, the strongest universe spacetime. I wonder if Su Yan can restore the universe to its former glory after he reconstructs it? Vice President Jin Yu and the others were looking forward to it. Once this day came, their race would definitely rise in the future. After all, only the heavenly domain spacetime could give birth to immortal matter, step on the path of immortality, and aspire to the ranks of the universe's powerhouses. I really hope that Su Yan can do it. Otherwise, I'm very worried about his condition. Uncle Kong said, that year in the wilderness, Bamboo Moon risked her life for Su Yan. Now that Su Yan sees her pain, he must be very sad. Definitely, definitely. Vice President Shangli said in a low voice, it's a pity that East Demon and the others have left. Otherwise, they would be very happy to see the current Su Yan. As long as our universe works together, I believe that we will be able to overcome any difficulties in the future. Previously, when the Xian people attacked the Xian Huang universe, such a great disaster had passed. Then, what else could stop the rise of Su Yan and the others? Boom! The vast primal chaos ruins were constantly moving. Pieces of territory were being reassembled, and shattered star fields were being reconstructed. The process couldn't be said to be fast, but after a day had passed, the primal chaos ruins had really merged into one. The source of energy that was surging to the extreme turned into heavenly dragons that pierced through the universe's starry skies. What the hell happened? Xian Yugong's expression was very normal. What had happened in the Xianhuang universe? Why was there such a bright light surging? This kind of energy fluctuation was also extremely majestic. It was accompanied by a terrifying surge of cosmic energy, as if the ancient Xianhuang universe was being resurrected. Could it be that the Xianhuang universe was making its final struggle under the suppression of the devil fog? After the primal chaos ruins were reconstructed, an unusually magnificent energy was derived. Billions of cosmic dragons soared and pierced through the sky. Their brilliance shone into the void of spacetime. No one can stop me. Su Yan's eyes were cold. He wanted to use the vast energy that was born after the reconstruction of the Xianhuang universe to once again open up a path of life for Bamboo Moon. Under the scouring of the boundless cosmic energy, Bamboo Moon's aged body became sparkling and translucent. What kind of exuberant divine power was this? It was unimaginably magnificent. Now, under the impetus of Su Yan, it had turned into the purest cosmic energy and washed Bamboo Moon's body over and over again. As time passed, The wrinkles all over Bamboo Moon's body dispersed. Her head of white hair once again became jet black and translucent. Even her withered life began to glow. It's a miracle. Look, the human emperor's skills are profound. He's using the energy of the Xianwang universe to extend Bamboo Moon's life. The entire Sky Bamboo lineage was shaken. All of this was witnessed by everyone. Su Yan was using the power of the universe to extend Bamboo Moon's life. She was restored to her former appearance. However, just as she was restored again, a terrifying influence began to threaten Bamboo Moon. She seemed to be in great pain. Her restored body was about to be beaten back to its original state. No one could tell what the influence was. It was as if the heavens were affecting Bamboo Moon, making it difficult for her to maintain her current state. Does the heavens want to stop me? Su Yan was furious. His radiant and exuberant immortal matter directly rushed toward Bamboo Moon, isolating the shocking influence. He was majestic and awe-inspiring, reflecting the universe's heavens. His black hair danced wildly as he said angrily, "Her life is not up to the heavens to decide. As long as I'm here, no one can take Bamboo Moon away from me. No one can. Those who stop me will be killed without mercy." He roared angrily, withstanding the monstrous pressure. His black hair danced wildly, and his domineering aura was monstrous. Su Yan once again pushed the energy of the Xianwang universe to extend Bamboo Moon's life. As long as Bamboo Moon could survive, he would. In the future, he would definitely find other ways to restore Bamboo Moon. "It's you. You're still alive?" The commotion caused by the Xianwang universe was getting more and more shocking. Su Yan's blazing figure was reflected in the void of space-time. Xian Yugong's expression changed. He saw Su Yan and found it hard to believe. Su Yan was still alive. He actually hadn't died yet. This was simply a huge joke. It was too ridiculous. The Xian people had paid such a huge price. Although they couldn't take Su Yan away, they still risked their lives to save him. But now this person was still alive. He was even stronger than before. Most importantly, he had survived the dark disaster. What a disgrace! Xian Yugong roared. He wanted to immediately open the teleportation array to inform the Xian people that Su Yan was still alive. This was a serious problem. Who knew what he had experienced? In short, he had to report the news that Su Yan was still alive to his family. Xian people. Su Yan was furious. His cold eyes looked at Xian Yugong. He turned into a stream of light and rushed toward the void of space-time. "You're courting death. An undying being wants to fight against me?" Although Xian Yugong had aged, he was still an expert of the immortal Dao domain. Just Su Yan alone dared to come out and fight against him? "Come out and I'll crush you, you stinking bug," Xian Yugong said coldly. He felt that the heavens were looking after him, allowing him to complete the mission that the Xian people had failed. He wanted to anger Su Yan and force him to come out. Just the influence of the void wasn't something that Su Yan could withstand. As long as he came out, he would undoubtedly die. "Is the immortal Dao realm that amazing?" Su Yan roared. He turned into an invincible god-fiend and rushed into the sky. Behind him, the entire chaotic land rumbled. Billions of universe dragons drilled out and rushed toward the void of space-time with Su Yan, covering the entire universe. It was a very scheming scene. The sky exploded and the vast void shook violently. Su Yan's killing intent was like an ocean, attracting the energy of the universe. It was as if the Milky Way from the 9 heavens was rushing toward the void of space-time. This vast energy storm alone was enough to destroy the world. Invincible human emperor, destroy the Xian people. Invincible human emperor, destroy the Xian people. Countless people shouted as if they had gone crazy. The Xian people were still there. They were still unwilling to accept this. What else did they want? Everyone was on the verge of exploding. Some people also shouted, "Everyone, release your energy into the energy of the universe. With our strength, we'll contribute to the human emperor and destroy the Xian people. Destroy the Xian people's experts. Kill. Countless people shouted. The Xian people were still there. This ignited the madness in their hearts. The anger of billions of creatures gushed out the source of life and entered the vast divine energy that Su Yan had attracted. Boom! In a short period of time, the energy waves that Su Yan pushed out became much stronger. It was like an energy curtain that drowned the past, present, and future. It also crushed everything. Xian Yugong's heart trembled. How could Su Yan push out such a vast amount of energy? Kill! Su Yan shouted. His ferocious aura was like an immortal star crashing through the void of space-time. He waved the boundless palm and attacked Xian Yugong. No! Xian Yugong's expression changed drastically. Back then, Xian Huiyu had the extreme Dao immortal metal, but he couldn't suppress the boundless palm. His remnant soul was almost destroyed. But now, Su Yan pushed out an energy that was even more vast than before. The boundless palm formed from it filled billions of miles. Xian Yugong was scared out of his wits. This was the energy of the entire universe. The murderous aura formed from the boundless palm pressed down, filling the void of space-time. No! Xian Yugong roared. His body burned, and his immortal path was activated. He unleashed all his techniques and did his best to resist the boundless palm that was pressing down. Give me your life! The huge palm pressed down, crushing everything. The immortal path was wailing, and the light of order in the sky disintegrated. In the face of absolute energy, the immortal path's order seemed very dim. It was no match for Su Yan's ultimate skill. Killing you can prolong Bamboo Moon's life. Su Yan's eyes shot out flames. The boundless palm continued to press down, destroying the world. Everyone in the universe was stunned. In their eyes, this palm was too huge. It replaced the heavens and the heavens. It was as if it had turned into an eternal image that was branded in their hearts. Bam! Loud noises rang out, and blood splattered wildly. Xian Yugong's body disintegrated. No matter what technique he used, he couldn't resist Su Yan's supreme killing technique. His shattered body turned into pieces of flesh and blood that fell to the ground. Su Yan's palm returned. He triggered the universe's energy tide and formed a universe furnace to seal the immortal blood essence that was falling down. I hate it! Xian Yugong let out an unwilling roar. His body was destroyed, and he was refined into a furnace of great medicine. This was a perfected immortal powerhouse. He was forcefully refined by Su Yan with a tyrannical method. Soon, a large expanse of great medicine light that contained the immortal blood essence sprayed out. Su Yan raised his hand and waved a sword light. The immortal slash erupted and shattered Xian Yugong's remnant soul. His eyes flashed coldly, and he said, Xian people, heavenly bamboo lineage, I can do nothing in this life, but I will make you pay with your blood. Chapter 1391. Su Yan's eyes shone with a cold light. A powerful aura surged in all directions, causing this vast world to darken. A terrifying aura filled the air. Since my life isn't meant to end, I will be invincible in the future. His essence, energy, and spirit were too astonishing. A cold light seeped out from his bones, tearing apart the heavens and flowing with an invincible momentum that couldn't be changed. A life that was barely saved had to be fought against the heavens and the earth. Human Emperor! Billions of living beings prostrated themselves in worship and loudly called out the name of the human emperor. Imperceptibly, it created the momentum of the universe. Adding on to Su Yan, it made him even more domineering and unparalleled. At this moment, Su Yan illuminated the starry sky of the universe, powerful beyond compare. The universe continued to boil, all because of the return of the human emperor. Su Yan's memories had been restored, but in the years of darkness, he couldn't remember anything. He also didn't expect that after a few years of death, he could really be resurrected. In fact, even if Su Yan's body could be restored due to special reasons, his life imprint had already disappeared. In the end, what led to Su Yan's resurrection was his primordial spirit. This point was definitely related to the energy essence of the white fog. Now, Su Yan didn't have time to investigate his own changes. He brought the furnace evolved from the energy of the universe and rushed towards the chaos ruins. Su Yan raised his hand and opened up a small world. With Su Yan's strength and the tempering of the universe's order, this furnace of true immortal Yuan Qi had already been refined. Su Yan's eyes were filled with anticipation. Bamboo Moon could definitely use this opportunity to recover. Can I do it? Bamboo Moon was a little doubtful. She looked at Su Yan and really didn't want to disappoint him. Su Yan had already sacrificed too much and looked a little old. You can. If you can't, then find another way. I don't believe that there isn't a supreme treasure in this world that can defy the heavens and change one's fate. Su Yan sent Bamboo Moon into the universe furnace. The true immortal Yuan Qi that was refined from this mouthful was very impressive. Bamboo Moon's body was soaked in Yuan Qi. Under the nourishment of the true immortal's vital energy, Bamboo Moon stopped aging at a speed visible to the naked eye. Soon after, her loosened skin became glossy and beautiful again, full of elasticity. This was practically the same as a supreme method of reviving the dead. Su Yan was seizing life for her, using the true immortal's vital energy to replenish it. It seemed that a strange fate had begun to reshape Bamboo Moon's body. This was life after death, and he'd forcefully seized a life from the cycle of reincarnation of the Heaven Tao. Gradually, Su Yan was pleasantly surprised. He discovered that some kind of special influence was weakening. Without a doubt, Bamboo Moon had made it through. She had returned to her youthful appearance. She was still as dignified and beautiful as before. She was like a brilliant divine moon, blooming with splendor. Ha 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 ha! Su Yan was smiling. He was very happy. It was as if he had been entrusted with a heavy burden. As long as Bamboo Moon could survive, even if he had to pay too much, it would be worth it. At this time, Su Yan withdrew the power he had used to protect Bamboo Moon. Soon after, he sharply noticed that there was still some kind of influence that was affecting Bamboo Moon. But this was very weak. This kind of influence was like the loss of one's lifespan. The human body was aging. It should be the birth, old age, illness, and death of mortals. But with Bamboo Moon's current state, it was enough to last for many years. Not to mention a few years, even a year was enough for him. Su Yan. Bamboo Moon cried tears of joy. She had recovered and was no longer aging. Although she didn't have any divine power or cultivation now, for them, what was better than surviving? Seeing Bamboo Moon fly out from the universal furnace, Su Yan also cheered. But in the next moment, his face darkened. Bamboo Moon had just run out, but she staggered and fell. Ah! Bamboo Moon was shocked. She forgot that she didn't have any divine power. If she really fell, wouldn't she be crippled? Ha ha ha! Su Yan burst into laughter and lifted Bamboo Moon. The latter's snow-white cheeks were flushed red. She said very bluntly, I can't maintain this state for long. I'm afraid it will be very difficult for me to become a martial cultivator. Sigh, it's okay. The Xian people and Sky Bamboo have many true immortals. I just need to kill a few to extend your life. Su Yan said very domineeringly. However, he didn't believe that it would be difficult for Bamboo Moon to become a martial cultivator. There were many miraculous treasures in this world. There must be a secret medicine suitable for Bamboo Moon. Xianwang Universe didn't have it, but the immortal celestial domain definitely had it. Thank you, Su Yan. Bamboo Moon looked at him affectionately and whispered, I really thought you had fallen. I waited until you came back. Do you still need to say thank you to me? Su Yan held Bamboo Moon in his arms and looked at Bamboo Moon. He still remembered that a long, long time ago, Bamboo Moon was a goddess in his heart. She was graceful and noble, like a person in a painting. Now, Su Yan felt a desire to protect her for the rest of his life. Su Yan's gaze made Bamboo Moon blush. Her snow-white cheeks rippled with a happy smile. Her starry eyes also lit up. They were very bright and moving. Time seemed to have entered an eternal and still state. It was as if a very long time had passed. It was a warmth that had never been seen before. After a long time, Su Yan found that Bamboo Moon had fallen asleep. She was sleeping very soundly. There was even a gentle smile on her face. She was very beautiful. Su Yan stood up and looked around. He quickly took action and cut off some spacetime fragments to refine a spacetime treasure. Although it was not very powerful, it was enough to let Bamboo Moon have a good sleep. "My treasures are all destroyed," Su Yan whispered in his mind. "I'll go to the land of darkness later to take a look. The broken cauldron is still inside. That thing can't be lost. It is still the legacy of the Mystic Gate chapter and the mysterious seed." Su Yan left this small world. He hesitated for a bit before rushing to the sky bamboo branch. "Su Yan, where did you run off to?" Su Yan happily laughed as soon as he arrived. Xia Jingang ran over and gave him a bear hug. 10 days and 10 nights had passed. Vice President Jin Yu and the others were very worried about Su Yan's condition and Bamboo Moon's condition. Uncle Kong and the others were relieved to see him like this. They guessed that Bamboo Moon had recovered. Otherwise, Su Yan would not have such an expression. Many old friends had come to the sky bamboo branch. They were all in high spirits. After all, 4 years had passed. They often missed the human emperor. Now that they saw him in person, the past few years were like a dream. Their hearts could not bear it. Where did Baokai and the others go? Su Yan was a little surprised. He did not see the old leader and the others. Even the 9 immortals were not here. When he walked out of the land of darkness, he only saw Fairy Zixia. Then where did the others go? He did not even see Xia Ho. Only Su Delong was beaming with joy. He looked much younger than before. "Su Yan, they're gone." Su Delong sighed and patted Su Yan's shoulder with a smile. "It would have been better if I had left a year later. They would have been very happy to see you. At that time, you would have been able to conquer the undying heavenly domain. They're gone." Su Yan did not know whether to laugh or cry. Those fellows had actually left Xianhuang. Yes, they're gone. They want to get back on their feet and quickly increase their power. I hope they can stay calm in the undying heavenly domain and not cause trouble for the Xian people. Su Delong was very worried. Xuanhuang's strongest group had left. If something happened, it would be an unimaginable blow to Xianhuang. "You're saying they went to the undying heavenly domain?" Su Yan's heart shook. "Did Bing Xuang go with them?" "Yes. They were worried Bing Xuang would take things too hard, so they took her away from the land of sorrow. They wanted her to see the outside world." Su Delong laughed heartily. "But it's good that you're still alive. Those disloyal fellows, let them go out and suffer." Yuan and the others were already very strong, but in the undying heavenly domain, they weren't too outstanding. He really hoped that many years later, they would be able to stand on their own and return to Xianhuang. At that time, it would definitely be a grand occasion for the universe. How did they leave? Su Yan was shocked. There was a path to the undying heavenly domain in Xianhuang? Su Delong transmitted. The path to leave is in the strongest training ground. They've already walked for a year. I don't know when we'll see them again. Su Yan was shocked. The strongest training ground could lead to the undying heavenly domain? Su Yan was also shocked. But since that was the case, it shouldn't be difficult for him to go to the undying heavenly domain. Back then, Yuan and the others had decided to leave. They couldn't stay in Xianhuang and wait for death. Before they left, they brought many people with them. For example, Niu De Song and the other geniuses with great potential. They also brought along a batch of them, hoping that they could achieve something in the undying heavenly domain. Originally, the old leader wanted to go alone to explore the path. However, Emperor Nan and the others were worried that the old leader would be in danger. Hence, they wanted to work together to explore the path. Su Yan, you don't have to worry. I heard that Iron Rooster found Ancestor Xing. He said that he has great luck and might be able to survive. Su Delong said. Ancestor Xing? Great luck? Su Yan was confused. Then, he was stunned. Could it be Ancestor Xing? Great luck. Su Yan muttered in his heart. Did this guy really have great luck? After surviving so many times, the ancestral hall was destroyed. Yet, he was still alive and had become the most accomplished person in the ancestral hall. He changed his name to Ancestor Xing instead of Zhu Xing. However, Iron Rooster said that he should still be called Zhu Xing so that it wouldn't affect his luck. Back then, Zhu Xing felt that it was right. He was willing to follow them to the undying heavenly domain. Perhaps he could achieve something great. In short, to Zhu Xing, he should have died 100 years ago. However, he had survived until now. He might as well go out and explore. At this time, Su Yan called Zhu Yuanqing and the others over. The group entered the meeting hall. Su Yan's eyes flashed with lightning. He said, "Tell me what happened here back then." Su Yan, is Bamboo Moon okay? Zhu Yuanqing braced himself and asked. She's fine now. Su Yan replied, Has Senior Giant Bamboo withered? The group of elders sighed. What happened back then was too tragic. Originally, Zhu Lihui and the others only wanted to take Bamboo Moon away. However, who knew that Zhu Yao would be so vicious and take away her Sky Bamboo Law manifestation seed? After experiencing the battle with the Xian people, Giant Bamboo had already lost the ability to fight and was unable to resist. In order to prevent this matter from being leaked, Zhu Yao flattened the entire Sky Bamboo Mountain. Su Yan, Sky Bamboo's almighty, saved Bamboo Moon's life. Zhu Yuanqing said bitterly. He willingly became Zhu Yao's servant so that Bamboo Moon could survive. No matter what, Su Yan, you can't just sit by and watch. Elder Yuanqing, is this the first time you've met me? Su Yan glanced at him. Zhu Yuanqing was a little embarrassed. Su Yan was someone who would lose if he had a grudge. Moreover, this time, they had almost killed Bamboo Moon. How could Su Yan let it go? During this time, the elders explained the complicated relationship of the Sky Bamboo lineage. Now, the Sky Bamboo lineage was led by the Sky Tribe. Although it was called the Sky Bamboo lineage, it was actually the Sky Tribe that was in charge. Has Giant Bamboo really fallen? Su Yan was a little doubtful. He was the bamboo under Sky Bamboo's ancestor. Did he not think of a way to save his life? Su Yan looked at Sky Bamboo Mountain. The flattened Sky Bamboo Mountain was filled with the aura of death. It had been reduced to scorched earth. Su Yan opened his heaven's eye and searched inch by inch. However, no matter how he searched, he could not find any signs of life related to Giant Bamboo. He was suspicious. Had Giant Bamboo really fallen? Just as Su Yan was about to leave, his expression changed slightly. He had vaguely caught a strange feeling. Su Yan's primordial spirit was much stronger than 4 years ago. His soul chi was full and vigorous, and his observation skills were astonishing. Moreover, he was able to see the patterns of heaven and earth. In terms of observation skills, even a true immortal would find it difficult to compare. Here, Su Yan searched inside and out for more than 10 times. Finally, his eyes glowed as he discovered that there was still a leaf that was about to wither in the soil. There was an imperceptible energy order in the soil. Su Yan broke the order and brought the withered leaf out. The bamboo leaf shone and an ancient life force flowed. A weak soul fluctuation appeared. Senior Giant Bamboo. Su Yan was pleasantly surprised. Giant Bamboo was still alive. Su Yan, you're still alive. Giant Bamboo was also rather shocked and found it unbelievable. How could he survive after falling into the darkness? I'm still alive. Bamboo Moon is still alive too. Su Yan's chest heaved violently as he laughed angrily. How can I, Su Yen, die so easily without taking revenge? Haha, good, good. Giant Bamboo shouted excitedly, very good. It's good that you're alive. I can't take this lying down. I can't. The experience that day was too heavy a blow to Giant Bamboo. Su Yen opened the spacetime treasure. Bamboo Moon was still sleeping soundly inside. However, looking at Bamboo Moon now, Giant Bamboo was heartbroken. Such a perfect Bamboo Moon had withered away just like that. Senior, is there no way to start over? Su Yan's expression darkened. Giant Bamboo was silent for a long time. He said in a low voice, Su Yan, Bamboo Moon was willing to give up everything for you. Then, are you willing to fight for Bamboo Moon? Our fates are intertwined. Why can't we? Su Yan replied. Regardless of whether it was a mountain of daggers or a sea of flames, he would charge through it. He shouted coldly, from now on, Bamboo Moon is my woman. I will not let her suffer any more pain. As for Zhu Yao, I will kill her sooner or later. However, killing Zhu Yao can relieve some of my hatred. I will definitely pay a visit to the Sky Bamboo lineage in the future. De Zhang.